All right. Welcome to Monday. Monday. Is it Monday? Let's double check. I thought it was. Yeah, it's Monday the 13th. Uh-oh. Dun dun dun. Um, and as you guys can see, what is your favorite house in A Song of Ice and Fire? That's kind of what I'm interested in talking about. Now, I'm sure my bro Leth will be around at some point and he'll bring up something about some crazy anime I'd never heard of before. And then we'll go off on a tirade about Japanese tanks because that is what my homie Leth does. And you know what? It's fine. It's 100% fine. I've grown used to it at this point. It's kind of like a thing. Plus, I don't think Leth actually knows very much about A Song of Ice and Fire. And I don't blame him. I mean, it's kind of a thing. But me personally, I absolutely kind of despise the books. Oh, nice. Yeah, Let's got some snow going on. Or despise the books. No, I despised the TV show, but I kind of like the lore that I've been able to find. So yeah, it's weird like that. It's like, I don't know. Should I like the lore? Yes, I like the lore. Is the guy who wrote the freaking book a weirdo? I think he is. I really do. I think he is a very strange man. But, you know, like Butter says, every episode seems to be about nothing but floppy wieners. And that does seem to be what he did. I had to stop watching Game of Thrones because it turned into softcore porn, which I've told people that. And for some people, that might be like the best thing ever. But me, am I opposed to a sex scene in a movie? No. If it serves a purpose and if it's not too, you know, like, uh, I guess what I'm trying to say is I am in my D&D games and my preference for movies. I'm one of those fade to black kind of guys. I mean, you can show it without showing it. The implication can be there. And also, though people might think away of me, I am much more impressed in movies with the concept of like romantic love than I am, a bunch of drunk soldiers banging hookers in a tavern somewhere in King's Landing. I mean, to me, that's just not interesting, you know. I just don't care about that. But, you know, the possible romance that could have been a thing between uh, Brienne of Tarth and Jamie Lannister, that could have been. See, that's the kind of thing I like. I like the more pure. Turn my mic on. What do you mean? My mic ain't on? I've been sitting here expounding words of wisdom. Says my mic's on. On. Uh, yeah, it says my mic is on. So make sure that your something is on. Yeti. Yeah. The power button is on. Everything is on. Everything is plugged in. So, are you just messing with me? Because that'd be a dick move. Or did I just spend the last 5 minutes talking to myself? Yeah, it's probably my brother just being a dick. But so yeah, that's a big problem with that TV series. It was like pointless. It was pointless. Okay, look at this guy.
I couldn't hear you on YouTube at all.
Yeah, did you check the volume on YouTube?
No, I do that. I ain't worried about it. I
Because
just, I just walked in my house.
and I just sent you a invite.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
You should have known.
Can a Negro even get some rest at home?
No,
I know.
you should have known. You know what day it is?
What? What's so special about Monday as opposed to every single other day of the week that you stream?
Monday is the one day that I promise I always will stream.
You don't have to promise to stream on a day because you're going to stream on a day.
Why are you bitching at me?
I'm not bitching. I'm just it's not a surprise that you're streaming on a Monday because you stream on every day,
But especially I stream on Monday.
especially you stream on every day.
Monday is the day when I take the stream more serious. And there's less. So, hello,
Uh,
Les.
Hey,
Hey, Les, I'm going to hop off of my phone,
Yeah, get
put
set up and everything.
and hop on the computer.
Probably be better that way.
Then I'm going to have young Master Gregory call my phone so you can hear my new awesome ringtone.
Oh, I don't know if I want to do that. Is it something I
Yeah,
should do?
yeah, it's awesome.
Are you trying to get me banned?
No, of course not. Don't be
I don't
don't
know.
be that guy. Don't be that guy, dude.
And of
My
course,
computer's like,
there's Windrunner popping in to say hello. Hello, Windrunner.
my computer's
How,
like, who's this guy? What's
how
going
are
on?
you?
Used in it ever.
Yeah, I just got out of a nice shower and decongested myself and all that sort of
I
thing.
do.
So that was good. Right now, I'm doing some of the very last parts necessary to finish this figure. I'm actually going pretty hard on working to get this guy right. You know what I mean?
hmm,
I'm like painting this figure like it's important and shit. I've got one more step after this. Even though I don't know if I'll ever use this figure, but if somebody ever wants to come over and learn to play, then this would be an option for them. So we'll show him off.
no,
There he is.
nice.
That's the mountain. Well, he's almost done. All I have to do is when his wash on the metal is completely dry, go back and very gently dry brush that armor. Just get it to shine a little better
Yeah,
so that you can see the detail in the cracks. But yeah, that is the Mountain Clegane. And then, of course, my phone camera sucks. I learned that yesterday trying to send pictures. I've got Sandor Clegane. And you can see how his face is all effed up.
I think my phone has an okay camera. I wouldn't call it special or anything.
But he was really easy to paint because Homeboy just wears like dirty plate mail armor.
I mean, did you see the picture I sent you?
I did. Oh, there's Hungar.
All wintry and stuff.
I did. And flat.
What's up, butter man? How's my homies doing?
Nice. That was good, I guess. I stayed up late last night.
Oh yeah, were you gaming?
Yeah. We're
Oh,
finally
yeah?
out of town. We got through one
And-
day.
And what happened? in the
Not
game?
much, really. Just a lot of talking.
Well, I mean,
Like I said, a lot of talking. It didn't really have much pertaining to me, or it was mainly one other character and going through their backstory.
All right, guys, you gotta listen to this. I'm getting ready to receive a phone call.
Mm, mm, mm. Mm.
how
That's-
did you do that?
That's Panzerlied.
It's Erica.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Here we
It
go.
starts
It starts
off
out
normal.
though like normal,
Yeah.
and then it kind of jumps into it.
That's kind of funny, yeah.
Isn't that the best ringtone you've ever heard?
Oh man. What was funny is whoever it was, Leth or whoever on the music to paint to, posting all the Civil War Confederate
What's that for?
like
So my brother could hear.
war songs, but in Japanese.
Yep.
Oh yeah, could you have your ringtone?
It was like,
Isn't that the best ringtone ever?
why are the Japanese so obsessed with, Dixie?
Japan.
But okay,
Look, some of them are as countrified as us.
I guess. But
You know, they have their own hick accent, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
It's not maybe, they do.
Like, I'm sure the Japanese people from the far North Islands, yeah, they're probably like, the other Japanese people are like, you're not even Japanese.
They say that about Osaka a lot. Not Osaka.
Actually, the
I
top
know what you're
north,
talking about, Okinawa.
Okinawa, yeah.
the top north actually originally wasn't Japanese.
Yeah,
That
right.
used to be the Ainu.
The Ainu, yeah.
Morning or afternoon, Bubba.
And then the
Well, in
Ryukyus are also not
Okinawa, they're
exactly
always saying that the
Japanese either.
Okinawans are not Japanese.
Right.
Then there's
Well,
the
if they're not
Ryukyu Islands
Japanese,
too.
then today's topic, favorite house. Yeah, favorite house.
Our
I'm
house.
fond of my
in the middle of
house.
the street.
I'm fond of my house, but James has a really nice house.
Yeah.
I'm really fond of our house in the middle of the street.
What's up, Bubba?
I mean, my house is
shut
pretty
up, you
decent,
assholes.
but James's house is really nice. I heard Windrunner just got a new house, and I hear he likes it.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a house. But you guys know what I'm talking about, and you're being jerk offs.
Yeah, because I don't know jack and or shit about Game of Thrones.
Me neither.
Not even a little bit.
Not really. No, I
No.
never read it. Never cared for it. Never watched
You know
it.
what I know about Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
The key of awesome Game of Thrones song.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one, but I always think of the one from South Park.
Yeah.
Even though I don't watch South
Wieners,
Park, but
floppy wieners.
I've seen that. But that's about it from South Park, really, in the recent times.
Yeah.
Yeah, the key of awesome Game of Thrones song is awesome.
How about you kids get out of my damn garden? All right. Windrunner says Mormont. And then Stark. Well, Mormont is the Liege House to Stark, so basically the same thing. But
When
I dig it.
Ned died, I cried.
yeah. When Ned died, the story cried. As a person who's done a little bit of writing myself, the last thing you ever want to do in a story is to have a drastic world shattering secret and have the one guy who knows it die.
Yeah, but we all knew he
How
was
would
going
you
to
do
die
that?
anyway because of the actor they had played him.
Well, I mean, Sean Bean's got to die in everything. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's like a given, you know.
They're like, Sean, we got a great role for you. He's like, nice, but you're going to die again. Damn it.
No.
Like, damn it.
Can I ever live once?
No, he's
Just
lived
once.
before, but not often. I recently watched a movie set in like the Dark Ages or whatever, where he played the leader of a band of people who were like witch hunters, and they were trying to figure out who was starting the plague. And they went across this swampy area, and they found a village in the swamp where everyone seemed perfectly healthy and everything. Well, you know the deal, right? Obviously, they were witches. And they, you know, were like paganistic and assholes. And long story short, Sean Bean dies.
No, well, no shit.
Ambivalent on the whole thing. Big Boy is never going in the book. Yeah, never going to end it. I don't think so. My inner completionist is against reading because
The
every
whole
movie he
thing.
lives in, the movie sucks. He did live once and the movie sucked. See? There you go. In order for the movie to be good, sacrifices must be made.
Yeah, come on. Do you think Lord of the Rings would have been as good as it was if Boromir would have lived?
Right. Yep. You had to have Boromir die. Also, there was a secret hidden message in the death of Boromir.
Don't be a dick.
Nope. You have to remember when you read a book, sometimes you have to remember who wrote the book. And J.R.R. Tolkien was a hardcore Roman Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
Boromir's entire arc was a redemption story.
And Faramir's entire arc was to just be told that his dad didn't love him as much as Boromir.
Pretty much. But then in the end, Faramir marries Eowyn, and they're given a tower to the north where they rule from.
Yeah, but if when Faramir went and told his father, he's like, Denethor, I fought halflings. Denethor was all like, yeah, Boromir would have fought holings.
Holings. See, you think that this is like a comedy thing, don't you?
That's the freaking truth, and you know it.
I'm just saying.
Everything can be funny depending on how you look at it.
Everything can be a sex toy if you're brave enough. Anyway, that was an old meme, and it showed like an army chick holding a mortar round.
It's just a bunch of people shaking their heads, holding just random things. It's like everything can be a sex toy if you're brave enough, if you have the courage. Dude holding a cat.
See what's funny, Bubba, is even though you might have had some typos or whatever, I understood exactly what you're saying. That was the biggest problem I think a lot of people had with Wheel of Time, is after Jordan and his wife separated, and it turned out she was super important in the writing of the books, and then he died, and it was like, the hell is going on here? You know what I mean?
That's the greatest thing I've ever seen, Bubba. You can't spell slaughter without laughter.
That is true. Laughter, slaughter, yeah. It's not a hate crime if you love doing it.
It's not a war crime the first time.
That's an old joke, but it checks out.
The Canadians. Yeah, that's an old joke, but it checks out. So yeah. So he's going with Mormont. Interesting. So Mormont is a bunch of berserkers.
Everybody loves berserkers.
My
That's
love
pretty
for
much what
you is
Mormont
like
is.
a
Well, okay, let's be honest. Most of the Northland is a bunch of guys wearing boiled leather, bearskin cloaks, and running around with big ass axes.
from Russia singing songs.
No,
My love for you is like a truck berserker.
no. You're being the opposite of a good co host. Instead of being like a good co host, you're being a disruptor. Which is what I have at my game table. I have 8 disruptors,
Would you mind having a ninth?
right? And it makes me every game want to just grab a salted cane and lay about the place, like just full of rage and hate. Of course, you have to remember, Windrunner, another northern house that you could have picked is Bolton. They're up there, up at Dreadfort. So Axe the First body spray. That's a good one, actually. So Hungar, I know you know a little bit about Game of Thrones, so let's hear it.
I really don't know.
You know a little bit.
I
So
know
let's
that
hear it.
Cleon or Greyjoy boy got his junk cut off.
Well, that's when Theon become Reek.
Yeah, I thought it was Cleon, but I was like, that sounds a
Cleon.
little hillbilly-ish. Yeah, my name is Cleon Greyjoy. No, I know
to be
about
fair, the Iron Island guys were pretty much like the Hicks of the show.
I know that the Sand Viper chicks were hot
In the TV show, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I assume in the books too. I never got that far.
And I've never read one page of Martin.
Yeah, you know how I know most of what I know about Game of Thrones?
The TV show?
No. There are tons of really, really good Game of Thrones lore channels on YouTube where you can actually just listen to like the lore from your favorite house or whatever.
But I've really never been that interested in it.
Well, I am though, because I'm painting up an army.
I know, and I will play the game next time I'm in Florida. I will play the game with you because I don't need to be into the lore of the army to play the game.
Yeah, but I think it helps. It's like Space Marines, you know?
And I'm into Space Marine lore.
You can play Space Marines and you can have a great time, but knowing the difference between the red ones and the blue ones does increase the fun.
And I agree with you with that. But
they were the coastal hillbillies, yeah.
I ain't got enough room in my little brain to start learning a bunch of new lore about a game. My brain's full up with 40K stuff.
Yeah, you need to get rid of the 40K stuff because we're never playing 40K.
I don't care.
My brain's filled up with Command and Conquer stuff.
That is lame and sad and gay.
It's not gay. It's awesome.
Command and Conquer. Get out of here.
Little gay left.
Dun 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 dun. Look, right, you serve Kane.
Kane lives.
Right. Well, I mean, so here is what we have on tap for. I'm going to assume you want to play House Stark, right?
You.
Yeah.
Now, I was saying Lannisters always pay their debts.
Well, got a really good Lannister thing going on eventually.
And the reason I know anything about that is because of the silly ass Key of Awesome song.
Yep. Well, I have technically, if you want to get technical, I have 3 Stark armies. I have Karstark loyalists, Mormont berserkers, and then actual Stark army. Because in this game, the commander you choose to lead your army completely defines the army. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to play Joffrey.
Joffrey is in the game, but I don't think he is a commander. He is a what they call a non-combat unit.
Yeah, he's a little bastard.
I mean, but there are some great Lannister commanders. My favorite, just from the lore and everything, is Kevin. Kevin Lannister, which was Tywin's brother, because he kind of wasn't bad. He was just a guy. You know what I mean?
Can't you play Jaime?
Of course you can play Jaime. Jaime's on my desk right now, waiting to be painted.
One hand or two hand, Jaime?
Both.
Nice.
But one hand, Jaime is not a commander. He's a non-combat unit.
But it's like the Hound.
Well, I've got the Hound, but the Hound is not a commander. He is only a what they call an attachment, which means you would make a unit of Lannister forces, and then the Hound would be their leader, and therefore give them a bunch of special abilities. Because, like, leaders and attachments within units, they don't actually do anything themselves. Kind of like, you know how in Warhammer it was Hero Hammer?
Yeah.
In this game, they just give the unit advantages. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Victarion, any unit Victarion Greyjoy is in, if they land a charge, their enemy becomes vulnerable. And vulnerable means that they have to reroll successful armor saves one time. So if you hit them 10 times and they save 5 times, they got to reroll 5 dice. You know what I mean? So that's what he does. And the other thing he does is, you know how when you go to charge, you get to move your base move plus 1 dice 6? Victarion Greyjoy says that anytime you go to charge with the unit he's in, count the 1 dice 6 as a 6. So he can always charge at maximum range. Because that's what Victarion does. You know what I mean? Then Euron says every time you activate the unit, kill somebody in the unit, because Euron's crazy.
Windrunner wants to know if there's an army comprised of those who took the black.
There is. The Army of the Wall, the Night Guard, has their own starter box and everything, complete with their version of Jon Snow and
do they have
various
Northlings?
other assholes up there.
Do they have Northlings?
There is a starter box for the Freemen.
I like those dudes from the north.
And also there are rules where you can do alliances, because some units in the game are considered neutral. So, like, they can be in any army, like the Bloody Mummers, you know, which was a mercenary band. They also have an army you can do called the Army of the Bannerless Knights or something like that, which is, I don't know if you remember the one guy who kept getting killed and they kept bringing him back to life. Sir Dondarrion.
I thought that was Jon Snow.
No, Sir Dondarrion got killed like 3 times, twice by the Mountain and once by Sandor. And the Fire Priest kept bringing him back because his job was to kill the Mountain. But every time he met the Mountain killed him. So then they'd resurrect him. And every time they resurrected him, he forgot more and more of his past.
That fool just lied on his resume, I guess.
It was like his resume said, getting killed by Cleganes, yes, please. But they have a whole army of those guys who aren't affiliated with any house. They just kind of, their thing is they believe that they have to protect what they call the small folk from, they have to protect the small folk from the great house's abuses. And the reason Dondarrion's after the mountain is because the mountain went on a rampage through the Riverlands,
And
basically burning down and raping and murdering everyone they encountered.
the one person that I liked from the TV show, there's like one person.
Yeah, you can do that, Windrunner. Like, hold on, and you get your thoughts together while I'm looking at this.
There was one that wasn't a chick because I thought some of the chicks were hot.
Well, I mean, I always thought that Brienne of Tarth was just such a badass.
Oh yeah, the dude that I liked the most was the mercenary that ran around with the midget.
Bran, he is a neutral character that can be hired into any army.
That was my favorite dude in the whole show. But I only watched like 6 episodes of Game of Thrones.
Yep. Tyrion, and there's a Commander Tyrion, and there's a non-combat Tyrion. And you can hire Bran as your...
And I like the old lady who killed Joffrey.
So Dondarrion and his men, they have a starter set called the Brotherhood Without Banners. And basically it comes with all of those characters. Like the Bard and the Hag and, you know, and a whole army of, you know, basically peasants, really. So if you wanted to play a peasant army, that would be the army. Why you'd want to play a peasant army, I don't know. Maybe that's just your thing. We've got Starks. We've got Lannisters. The Free Folk starter set, which can be led by either Rattlebones or what's his name? They cast him as a redhead. Also, it's got that one female chick that shot Jon Snow or whoever it was. She's in there.
The Lady Tyrell. I liked her.
Oh, you're talking Alyssa of Highgarden?
No, I'm talking Olenna, the old lady who killed Joffrey.
Olenna, yeah. She's in there as a non-combat unit, but in order to play her army, you have to play Baratheon.
I think I'm gonna have to head off here, though. I'll see you.
What's up?
Mike Lodge, what's up, buddy?
Catch you later. The thing with the Baratheon army is when you get it, it gives you enough to make the army. But then do you take Stannis or do you take Renly?
I need to go ahead because I backed the Shucked Oyster.
Oh, yeah?
I just need to go on to drive-through and get it.
Nice. But yeah, so I don't know if you remember Renly.
No.
Renly was the younger brother of Robert Baratheon, and he was the one that was super allied with the folks of Highgarden and all that.
I remember the Tyrell, the old lady's niece, who was
Renly was supposed to marry Marjorie.
Yeah, she was married to Joffrey, wasn't she?
After Renly got killed, yes.
Yeah, I thought she was cute too.
Well, she's all right. I mean, honestly, I think the lady who played Cersei at the time was hotter. And Daenerys was the most attractive of all, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. I mean, all the other women in the show were like 14, so.
Black Lodge Games is in the chat.
Okay.
What up, buddy?
Let me get back to the thingy, mabobby. The thingamabob where
They're like, "What's up, Yakubians?"
Yakubians. Wenderosa. What
Like,
up? Black Lodge, how you doing, sir? I liked your questing beast video because they reviewed their own product, but they did it in the style of questing beasts because they knew that Ben would never review their product. You know, plus I guess people pay him to review their products. I don't know why. But if he makes a lot of money at it, he needs to go through that treatment where they break your legs a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like they snap your legs and then they stretch you an inch and then they wait till your bones heal and then they do it again over and over again. Because that dude's like 5'1".
How many times can you get that done?
I don't know. But if I was 5'1", I don't know if I'd want to live. Guava, sugar-free monster. That's right. Tropical today.
If I got that done 6 times, I could be 6'2".
The Yakubians. Yeah, right.
Yeah, aren't you the one who got Windrunner hooked on Black Lodge's Vampire the Masquerade content?
Well, I just showed it to him about how, because otherwise, Black Lodge is right. Vampire just turns into a bunch of people sitting around having piss fits about shit with no actual goals or anything. And it's like, nobody wants that. But I got everybody's, everyone's Taoslanta character is done, except Jeff. Jeff is the only one who didn't pick an archetype for Taoslanta. Like Tony, of course, picked a Jacko warrior, the cat people.
See, I'm thinking about changing my blue bird dude from a fighter into a mage.
So a green bird dude.
Blue can't be mages?
The blue ones are almost always 100% warriors, and the green Ardua are the ones that are like botanomancers. So they have a lot of plant magic and stuff.
I don't want plant magic.
Yeah, but that's the magic they know. The thing is, in Taoslanta, there's like 50 types of magic, but a lot of it is like completely.
Isn't there some crazy bald dudes that
cultural.
do magic in Taoslanta?
Yeah, you're not allowed to be those.
Oh, man.
Yeah, those are the Ammonites. And that would be like allowing somebody to play like, that would be like taking the worst person that you know, making him a paladin character for D&D, and then throwing him in a group. That's what that would be.
The VTM will resume next month, is what Windrunner's saying.
That would be exciting. I mean, I was hoping to finish the One Ring campaign since you guys are waiting to either ambush or get ambushed by the trolls.
Well, we started that at a really bad time of the year. Right at
you should never try to start new campaigns right before all the Christmas holidays.
Yeah, and winter and people getting sick and stuff like that. Idiots ending up in a hospital having heart surgeries. I mean,
hey, we ain't got to make it all about you.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay. But, I mean, let me ask you this, though. Totally off topic, which, isn't hard to be. You know what I'm surprised by?
What?
How many people don't know about A Song of Ice and Fire as well as I do? And I've never read the books or watched the TV show, really. So how is it that I know so much about all the houses and all the battles and all the characters? And, well, I know how, because I watch freaking lore videos.
No, that's not how you know so much about it. I can tell you how you know so much about it.
How?
As soon as you get an idea of something that you think you might like, and I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything, you hyperfixate.
Well, that is a side effect of having a 145 IQ.
La-di-da, Mr. High IQ.
La 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 la. Yeah, I should have been
I,
at
I,
Mensa or something.
I passed the Mensa test the other day. Yeah.
But instead, I decided to hyper focus on shit. You are right. Like, I found myself the other day sitting here painting figures for this game and listening to like Game of Thrones songs. Yeah, because I am a huge fan of research. I want to know everything about everything whenever I get interested in a game. Now, Talislanta, we ain't going to have to worry about that because I've been into that game since the mid 80s. And there's basically nothing about that game that I can't just tell you about.
And I am a big fan of acting a lot dumber than I actually am and giving everybody lower expectations.
You're the Joker.
Lower
You're the
expectations.
smoker. You're the midnight toker.
I get my loving on the run.
You're loving on the run. Bruce Lombardo, the brothers are on. We are, sir. How are you? I am sitting here doing primer coats for these Black Tide Chosen, which are one of the many, many houses of House Greyjoy, House Black Tide. They, of course, swear loyalty or fealty to the Isle of Pike. And okay, I'll start since I asked the question. Obviously, my favorite house in A Song of Ice and Fire is Greyjoy. Even though I absolutely despise Euron Greyjoy. I hate him. The Black Crow or Old Crow Eye. I hate him so bad.
Wasn't there a hardcore Greyjoy chick? Theon's brothers or sisters, some shit?
No, Asha. Ever make a life-sized one of what? I don't know what that means. I love Black Lodge Games thing because, yes, I'm one of those nerds that got super, super into Twin Peaks. So as soon as I saw Black Lodge, and I was like, oh, I get that. Oh, yeah, the Black Lodge. They were the bad guys that ate the freaking, it was misery, but it looked like cream corn or some shit. No?
Dude's talking about painting concrete on a boulder to form a face.
Oh, making a gigantic statue like in a park? No, I've never thought of that. I mean, when I was younger, we used to get those big like porcelain statues of things. Like my mom would get them and I would paint them for her. Like she would get like a barbarian warrior with like wolves or something, and it would be all, a big porcelain thing, and I would paint it. She still has some of them up in Kentucky.
And I would sit back and watch.
Yeah, Hungar, I've got him to help me paint before, but usually it's at the end of the threat of a beating. Because it's like, I'll be like, look, your job is to put a thin black primer coat on all of those skeletons or else. But, I'm going to tell you what, Lobtobe or Lobtobe, however you say that. I live in Florida. We don't have rocks. Have to get back to work. I'll see you later, Windrunner. I'll let everybody know what you said. I'm sure some people are going to be very excited. Yeah, I live in Florida. We don't have rocks, but I'm from Eastern Kentucky where all we have is rocks. So it's kind of a weird situation, really, when you think about it. Like on my Discord, I posted a picture of where I walked up the mountainside. And literally there are boulders on this mountainside that are bigger than my old Fiat was.
Me and Mom were talking about taking the Polaris up side of the mountain yesterday.
It's not hard.
No,
It depends which way you go. If you go to
I
the
just
left,
go up the
where
power line.
if you go to the left where the old rotten boat was, there's one part where you're going to have to kind of climb up like a 3-foot lift. But as soon as you get over that, you're good as gold.
I just
If you
go
go
up.
to the right, it's a little easier, except there's a bunch of like saplings and shit that'll whip you while you're trying to get through.
I just go up the power line.
I just walk up it
Yeah, well,
and then feel like I'm going to die. Have to
well,
lean,
if I just walked up it, I would probably die.
have to lean for a minute or two on a big rock, look around, then get all inspired about D&D and start thinking like, getting lost on a 5 or a 6 on a dice 6. Gygax is being nice to you people. House Dundarian, the Lightning Lord. Yes, he exists. His starter set, George, is called the Bannerless Men. And Dundarian is one of the guys that you can choose. And they typically have a fire priest, obviously, but a lot of peasants and stuff like that are part of his army. And of course, in the storyline, they're chasing the mountain around the Riverlands, trying to get him to stop with all his graping and pillaging and stuff.
Yeah, Loeb. When I was younger, I climbed a big water tower into town.
Yeah, that used to be a thing until they finally put like a padlocked gate on the ladder so that you couldn't get up to the ladder. I mean, you still kind of could.
Oh, I could do it again. I know how to get around.
But we have this gigantic water tower in the center of the town down here. And it was like, drink a bunch of Old Milwaukee's Best and climb to the top of the ladder.
When I did it, I had a 12-pack of Michelob. Thank you.
Oh, look at you.
The king of beers.
The king of beers, Michelob. So, yeah, that was kind of a small town Saturday night thing, as they sing about in country music. Climb to the top, the cops catch you, and as long as you're not damaging anything up there, usually they just tell you to go home.
I never got caught.
Yeah, usually, like if you're up there like vandalizing shit, drawing all kinds of crazy shit all over everything, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, we were just up there.
Climbed up there to climb up there. They're usually like, go home.
Me and our uncle, when he was still alive, we climbed up there and drank a 12-pack of beer.
Yep. Yeah, he almost killed himself because he tried to cut the lights on the tower.
Well, he tried to cut that big cross off, and it was lit up, and he melted the tip of his pocket knife.
Yeah,
and fell off the top of the water tower onto the catwalk.
Yep, melted the freaking top his pocket knife. I remember that. Because way back then, and this is going to be a history story real quick, St. Cloud is what you would have called in the South a sunset town. And every night when it got dark, the water tower in the center of town had a gigantic cross on it. And the cross would light up. And it had like yellow, orangish lights on it, right? And the signal was basically, I guess, back in the 40s and 50s, if you were a black guy and that light came on, best not have your ass in town, right? So all the black guys lived in a kind of a little city on the end of town called Crawford. And eventually, as things do, people got more progressive. And there was a lawsuit to get that cross taken off the water tower. Now, here is the thing. Back at the time, people were trying to get the cross taken off the water tower. A lot of people who lived in the town didn't know what it represented. To them, they just thought, Jesus, that's nice. They didn't know it was a sunset thing, right? So it caused like all kinds of issues.
Yeah, when
And
Richard
people
Pryor
were
drove through the town.
pissed and,
Richard Pryor talked about the cross in our town.
Yeah, Richard Pryor even mentioned it. Yeah, it's like, but the thing is, like I said, is your average inhabitant of the town,
We didn't know.
say 84, had no idea what the hell that thing was.
We had no clue. It was like, yeah, we got a big cross on the
They
water
just
tower.
thought, oh, look, we've got a big cross because we're all Christians.
Jesus,
nice?
Yay.
KKK, Jesus. Yes, the KKK was very active down here. We used to have a little fish restaurant. And the rumors I heard, and these are only rumors because
that's true. I worked there.
Was that they would have their meetings in like the back banquet rooms and stuff.
It's true.
Which was so weird because like a lot of the cooks and stuff that worked there were black guys.
Yeah, I worked there. I was a dishwasher.
Right. So it was like you got a bunch of black guys cooking up fried catfish for a bunch of Klansmen in a back room having meetings about whatever in the hell the Klan has meetings about. Because honestly, I mean, I don't even know what they would have meetings about.
Check, Mr. Lombardo.
I see. It's like, why are they going to have meetings about, hey, okay, today we're going to hang out in the middle of town and wear little white robes? I mean, okay.
I'm a ghost, like Cartman.
I'm a ghost, right? It's like no one gave a shit. But it was just by the time I was a kid, the Klan had basically turned into a social club for white guys that wanted a social club. They never did anything. No one ever got lynched. No one ever broke any rules. Everyone kind of on the DL knew who was what. And it was like, whatever. They weren't even prejudiced. Like half of the Klans dudes I knew that went to them little meetings owned businesses, hired black guys all the time. So it was like, what even are you guys doing? You're not even prejudiced anymore. You're just kind of hanging out. And it's like.
It was a good old boys club by that time.
By that time, yeah, that's what it was. It was like all the good old boys got together because this county we're in.
Look at that dragon, brother.
I know. His dragon is amazing. It's Tiamat.
Yeah.
I gave him blue ink, and I'm going to dry brush white over the blue.
Nice. But the this town where we are from is slap dab in the middle of a couple of different counties.
Shark.
That were all settled by like the same 3 damn families.
Chomp, chomp.
Chomp, chomp. So pretty much like if you went down to City Hall and you walked down the hall and you looked at the names on all the office doors, they were all the same name.
Yeah.
Or one of the 3. You know what I mean? They were basically like the nobility of this area back when it was nothing but ranching. They owned all the ranches. So good afternoon, my Marine comrade. Even though I'm not a Marine, I'll still call you a comrade. And there's the king of the reprobates showing up. I guess really you have a lot more in common with Bruce since you and Bruce were both in the Department of the Navy. What's a good cheap primer for miniature painting? George, because of the crazy nature of the weather here in Orlando, being super humid all the time or not or whatever, I don't bother with Rao cans that much because you'll get that fuzz, and I hate that, right? So I end up using Vallejo primers. This thing costs about $14. You could probably primer 500 miniatures with this.
If you don't want that, I would actually say go with like nail polish. Nail polish is cheap as shit compared to a lot of primers, but Vallejo primer is really good.
I'd never even heard of primering a miniature with nail polish. Never even heard of that.
I just witnessed a guy doing that the other day on YouTube here.
Oh yeah, you can see some really good painters on YouTube. I just tend not to watch them because I don't need to feel bad about what I do.
I gotta take my dog for a walk.
Take your dog for a walk. We'll see you in a little bit.
Mr.
Oh,
Vic's here.
Big Vic is in the right back.
All right.
I'm just gonna log off. It's been an hour.
Get out here. We'll see
Take
you in a
care,
little bit.
Hungar. God bless you,
Go have
buddy.
a rest.
I'll see you guys later.
Later.
See you, Hungar.
But anyway, yes, House Dundarian, which is just basically the bannerless army, is an option. Yeah, see, if you live in a dry climate and you know how to use your rattle cans in a dry climate, you can get really great results, depending, right? But if you live in a climate like that's 100% humidity and between 110 or maybe 60 degrees, depending, yeah, good luck with those rattle cans. I mean, there's nothing worse than priming up some incredibly expensive Space Marine miniatures and having the primer come out looking like popcorn. That is like, oh, well, I guess time to bust out the LA Kabloom or whatever it's called and freaking strip the whole miniature, because there's no coming back from that. No matter how hard you try, there's no coming back. I mean, it's just like, you know. And that's a guy, I mean, I'm actually a guy that when I painted up my 30K Blood Angels, I textured their armor, you know, which means after I got the red right, I did the highlights by dappling, you know, to give it kind of the highlight, but also a little bit of a texture. That I don't mind, but that popcorn, man, you can't do anything with it. But anyway, pretty much because this game is put out by Seaman Games, Seaman Games, which I believe is like a French company. They and they do a lot of other games too, like Cthulhu War battle games, What Is Dead May Never Die, and shit like that. They have really, like, when they very first come out, they had like the Stark Lannister starter set. Now it's like any faction you can think of from the books is in. And then not only that, there's just tons of additional material for those armies. So if you play Targaryen, there's like 5 ways to play Targaryen. You can play with Viserys and her dragons. You can make just a big horde army of Khal Drogo's idiots. You can make an army of like the slave warriors and the Unsullied. I mean, they're all there.
Bears in the back.
Bears here too. Damn.
Oh my God, the reprobate from Canada.
The Canadian reprobate.
We should just call him the polar bear reprobate.
You are aware that a Canadian reprobate is like a gentleman in America, right? You understand that?
State 48 is the best state to paint minis.
A gentleman, according to the Webster Merriam Dictionary from '69 that I grew up with, a gentleman is a property owner.
Okay, that's just nonsense at this point in time. You know, words change with use and language. You're not a fucking idiot.
I'm going to keep things.
You're not an idiot, Bruce. I refuse to play your bullshit games.
Gaming's happy.
Okay, you know what? Then we're all virgins unless there's stories we're not telling, because the actual definition of the word virgin does not mean did not have sex. It has not been taken by a man. So we can play word games or we can accept social value of expressions, sir.
Well, I'm just going to jump in here to tell Shark that Pro Acryl paints are awesome. I love them.
I don't love them. They're good, though.
I don't know what Pro Acryl means, but
Pro Acryl is a company that makes paint.
Pro Acryl, I'm sorry.
And their bright red color is like the best red for painting Blood Angels you're ever going to get.
Okay, well, if I ever have to paint some Blood Angels,
or maybe you want to paint a bunch of House Curita mechs,
Oh yeah, that could happen too. I
Like
mean, my
740.
BattleTech, my
I can't
obsession
remember the
with
last time
BattleTech.
Bear ran BattleTech. When you gonna play Mech Warrior again, there, Bear?
Clearly, my obsession with BattleTech would shine through at that point.
Well, I mean, I know that Bear's got like a whole stack of mechs
Oh yeah,
in the room
tons,
with him.
tons. In fact, you can't see them; they're behind the box here. But I have the entire line from
No, but you've got a starter
1989.
box.
I got a shitty starter box. Relax. It didn't even have a cool. It didn't even have a Warhammer in it, which is the only mech I really like beyond the Archer.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, how to
Just
say
a
you're a Robotech fan without saying you're a Robotech fan.
exactly, baby. Exactly.
Because both, well, okay, the Archer's good, but the Whammer, that thing is not a. I mean, it's got the offensive power, but
PPCs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but if you
back
go up
to,
against any adequately, if you go up against any heavy mech other than, you're going to die.
mhm.
Like a Thunderbolt's going to kill you every time.
Okay, I'll take
mean,
your word
it's like-
for it.
Yeah, Pro Crow makes great paints. I actually have some right here because I really love this this burnt red color they do, and it also makes a really good undercoating for their really bright pyrite red.
I can just see Bear melting. Like I don't know if I want to be here with
He
Brushmen.
saw the name of the damn
Well,
stream.
what's your favorite House of A Song of Ice and Fire and why? Was not. Let's talk about fucking BattleTech.
Well,
Okay? I saw the title.
you were lured in.
I was. You're a honey trap. Damn it!
You were sold
You
out.
lured me in
Oh,
with hot
bill of
deep
goods.
talk and turned out to be a communist spy looking to steal my secrets.
Oh, Fang, I love you so.
I'm old school. I'm
Bill of
Cold War.
goods,
So it's
man.
oh Nikita, you will never know. You know that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Svetlana, how could you?
What did you
Anyway,
call them?
to answer the
Red
question
Sparrows?
of the favorite House of A Song of Ice and Fire, I would have to say Mormont. Not because of the bear, but just because of the little lady Mormont and how she just fucking runs the North in that scene. Like the way
Yeah.
she puts all these old men and big tough guys in their place and just like makes them all look like little bitches compared to her.
Yep, she's cool. I got her.
It's a shame they didn't do her better on the
Non-combat
show.
Unit, so she don't actually lead units, but she's a non-combat unit, which is cool.
Yeah, it's
But
a shame that
apparently, House
they did her dirty on
Mormont
the show.
actually has female exclusive units that are made up of their big burly women, and you know, they have a whole bear thing going on there.
Cute.
So that's cool. I mean, if you're into wanting to paint a bunch of, you know, big burly women, it's not like they're sexy because they're all wearing so much armor and shit. You can barely tell that.
Well,
they're
hang on
women.
now. Hang on. When you say paint, big burly women,
Ah.
I mean that's starting to sound like a hell of a weekend. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about those body painting competitions they do, I guess that would be a little different.
I'm gonna have my huge nipples poking out of my shirt here. You keep talking like this.
Yeah, I
Yep.
saw you showing your. I stopped by your little video yesterday to say hi or for the Saturday, and I saw you were showing your Colombian horsewomen.
That's my
Nice.
favorite fucking intermission right there.
Wow. Yeah, you
I
got
was scandalized, and I had to collect myself.
scandalized.
Scandalized. I mean,
Right.
One of these
I don't
days,
think there's much that Bear could be scandalized with.
there really isn't. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, not even trying to be funny about it. The amount of shit I have seen in my life, working as a bouncer and security and all these things, like literally, no, just no.
Yeah, but you did all that in Canada.
Oh, please, son. I did that in the biggest cities in Canada, one that was French, so therefore more morally bankrupt than, anything you've got north of, I don't know, Louisiana and or Florida. And the other was in Vancouver, which at the time was considered like one of the most debauched cities in North America. Hell, they used to call Montreal Sin City North when I was a bouncer here. I'm telling you, I saw
Figured Bear would be more of House Umbar. Yeah.
No, I don't like the Iron Islands.
No, Umbar's the Stark. They're both.
Oh, yeah, no, God, no, ew, no.
Now Bear's more of a House Bolton kind of guy.
The Flayed Man. Oh.
But yeah, you haven't done anything until you've had to do stuff in Florida.
Yeah, you haven't lived as a bouncer until the day you walk into the bathroom at the gay club you work at to find 5 guys involved in a train.
Yeah, but in Florida,
and you just kind of like, guess I don't work here anymore because that was clearly my limit. Was that?
Like I said, in Florida, there would be alligators involved.
Yeah, that doesn't make it worse. That just makes it weird. You know what I mean? That's the only difference.
Right. So it's worse plus weird.
No, it's about the same, just with the extra level of Florida.
Yeah, right?
It's got the sprinkles right there.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
You're like, there's 5 guys having sex in a bathroom, and amongst them is an alligator and a reticulated python.
Yeah, exactly.
What in the hell is going on here?
Yeah, that's just like, fuck you people shouldn't be allowed access to animals. That's all that is.
Or anything.
Well, sadly, there were a great many people like that I met over the years who were like, you just shouldn't be allowed to go outside.
Right.
The voice in my head tells me I should get outside more often.
I think you should go to Colombia.
Oh man!
Get your kidneys stolen by horse girls.
I'll tell you what.
Tell you, Bruce, the only Spanish I ever learned from my Colombian friend.
What was that?
She taught me whenever I visit her in Colombia, no matter who asks me anything, my immediate answer is "No lo sé, soy turista. Por favor, no robes mis órganos," which means I don't know. I'm a tourist. Please don't steal my organs. And I'm like, really? You want me to say this to you? She's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, so we're at Starbucks, and I order my coffee, and they ask for te nombre, and I'm like, no lo sé, soy turista, por favor, no robes mis órganos. And they're just going to write on the cup, pinchy gringo, fucking whitey, like, there you go. And it's like, that's what I'm doing. But you know what? Every time I've talked to a Colombian and told them that story, they all laugh, and they're like, oh, your friend really cares about you. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on in that country? There you go, Bruce.
You don't want to know what's going on in that country, sir. You really don't. If there's a lot of crime.
Oh, I know. Like I said, I have many Colombianas in my life. It's weird. I seem to collect them.
They go up to Canada and they say, look at this guy. I bet he's got a lot of organs.
Well, the funny thing is, actually, I've talked to them about that because I do it's not like I'm trying to brag, but when you meet them on international dating sites and stuff, and it's I'm like, why the hell are you paying attention to me? I'm like this old fat guy. What the fuck? And they're like, yeah, but you sound like the kind of guy who, after fucking me, wouldn't go hang out with his friends and work on his motorcycle, but you might actually stick around and talk to me. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this country?
Yeah.
Like, why is this country so fucking broken?
Yeah, you actually win more sex by sticking around on these. That's all I can say. The Honduras and Colombian girls that I know, they get treated like shit.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And they're like some of the most beautiful women I've ever met in my life, but
see, the Honduras girls I know of would give it up for like a pair of old army boots or some MREs or something.
The Honduras girls I know will give it up for a nice steak dinner.
But that was in Honduras, so.
And the term you're looking for is Honduran girls. Yeah. Them they're Honduras girls. Good eats.
I'm sorry if I sound like a hick, but whatever.
We're American. We say whatever we want.
Yeah.
You guys ever watch Community?
Years ago.
Remember that bit when Alison Brie just finally has enough of them using the word Jew, and she just goes, "You know what? You all could just start saying Jewish now." That's what that feels like sometimes.
Oh man, they got rid of the best episodes out of that whole series.
Only on the streaming.
Yeah.
If you cast your nets into the
What
wild.
was it? His name? My name is something.
Brutalicus.
Wizard, baby.
It's
Yeah,
a 10th level magic user, baby.
You're right.
Brutalicus.
Yeah,
Y'all not gonna talk about that hate crime over here?
Yes, like.
What did you think of the old TV show WKRP?
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
Bruce, you know I used to work in radio, right?
Okay.
So WKRP, we only after you go to work in radio do you learn that WKRP is not a comedy; it's a fucking documentary. I'm not kidding. You meet every one of those characters. They might not have the same job in real life as they did on the show, but they might even be like, gender swapped. But you meet your Herb, you meet your Jennifer, you meet your Les, you meet your Johnny Fever, you meet all these fucking people. It's insane how accurate that fucking show was.
So the archetypes exist.
Oh my God, do they ever?
That's funny as hell to
It's
hear that.
Truth.
Oh, I just
The worst part about it is that you're the second person I know that said that.
I'll back it up by a third person because I know some of the radio guys around town here. It's pretty funny that the stories they tell you. It's just like,
my
no
God.
way that happened. Oh yeah, it happened.
Oh, it happens. Oh boy, does it happen.
I know it don't really count, but when Hungar was going to university, he worked at the radio station on the university campus.
Student radio, yeah.
And he worked overnight. And every time he had to take a poop or something, he would just put on the 10-minute version of Mother by Danzig.
Yes. So, okay. So when I was in student radio, so this is going back, I used to have this whole sequence in my show that was, and now, one complete side of Pink Floyd's The Wall while I go have a cigarette. And then I'd put on The Wall and I'd go have a smoke with the station manager. And then one time we were having a smoke and we were right beside the cafeteria and we could hear like the speakers of this playing. And we could hear a skip. And this is how little we gave a shit. He's like, "Oh, dude, it's skipping." And I'm like, yeah, it is. Huh. Time for a second? Sure. I mean, it's fucking oh my God.
I remember when we switched over from digital or from regular records to digital in Taylorville in Illinois. And like they were playing Led Zeppelin songs that we hadn't heard in like 10 or 15 years out of that station because all their records had fucking grooves that skipped the shit out of like whole sides of Led Zeppelin 2 and 4. You couldn't even play. And here we are like celebrating digital.
Oh, crazy.
Oh, what's the song by the Doors that they always played it as like it had like the 10-minute organ solo in it or something?
Light My Fire? No.
Either Light My Fire or The End.
It's The End. The End has the big long solo in it.
Whenever that came on in my hometown, we knew he's out having a smoke or he's taking a deuce.
We would play Carousel Alhambra by Zeppelin, which is like 9 minutes.
The End was about a serial killer, I think. No, that's Riders on the Storm. It was about a serial killer.
Oh.
But
so that makes me happy to know that Bear worked in radio too. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Don't have a motorcycle. Yeah, I don't. Hungar's a motorcycle guy, not me. He was also a Vespa guy. Shit you not. There was a time when Hungar was in a Vespa gang. There was like 50
one
of
of the
them.
funniest things I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, dude. There was like 50 of these guys. They had their own bar they met at. And all they did is talk shit about like whichever model of Vespa they had and all the bullshit they did to it. And I mean, it was like a thing. you know, and I'm sitting here looking at these things. I'm like, that's a scooter. But, you know, but I can't complain. When I owned my Volkswagen microbus, you know, with the pop top and all that, the 71,
Yeah.
there used to be like clubs for Volkswagen owners where like everyone would meet up and like show off their Volkswagens, and you'd see Carmen Gias there and Porsche 914s, and you know, because a Porsche 914 is just a Volkswagen, it's made in the same damn plant.
Yep.
So, you know, and everybody'd have their hoods open so that you could look at their massive 1600 cc engine, or maybe if they got that pancake engine, that 1700. It's like, get out of here. You know, it's a lawnmower motor, which is true. It is. I rebuilt one from the bottom up, the whole engine, replaced the frickin' every single thing I replaced except for the case. And it's basically a lawnmower motor. But I mean, if you keep them cool, you run them cool, they'll last forever. But I saw a guy's Volkswagen Beetle burn to a freaking just twisted metallic wreck because somehow or another the case on the engine caught on fire, and those cases are made out of magnesium.
There's no putting that out.
So when that magnesium went up, it was like,
it's over.
Yeah, it's over, man. That car was done. Now, you know, in Mexico, they still make Super Beetles.
What?
The 74 Super Beetle?
Yeah.
No, they don't. No, they don't. I think Volkswagen totally ran that down now. I think
they were making those things for years and years and years. That's why when you went to Mexico, a lot of the cabs and shit were Beetles.
Brazil was doing them for a long time.
Right.
Beetles.
I thought they were doing it legally, though. I thought they had bought all of the old machines.
Yeah, Brazil was doing it legally. Yeah.
Because they don't have the same like side impact bullshit and whatever as we do. Because I mean, a Volkswagen, if you get hit, that thing crumples up like a beer can, you know.
Yeah, but they were really good. Like my father used to tell me stories about his going up mountains in like winter. You know what I mean? And like this thing would go because it was, you know, all that weight in the back, good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Which little did I know was secret code for big bottom girls in the future. But hey,
wanna take me anyway. Which
fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round.
That explains why you like House Marmot. You like those
I actually don't like big girls.
You like those big girls.
No, I actually don't. I actually like skinny bitches, but that's neither here nor there.
Volkswagen no longer builds the Beetle.
Well, I don't think Volkswagen was building the Beetle.
They make knockdown kits, though.
Yeah, I think Mexico was building the Beetle with machinery they had bought from Volkswagen.
No, nobody builds it anymore.
All right, well, that changed.
Yeah, they're making knockdown kits. So there is that.
Knockdown kits?
Yeah, it's just basically body kits that you can that you can make a how do you say this?
You make your own car.
You can put them on the body of a chassis. They're just all the panels. That's all there it is. They just, you know, they won't sell you the chassis because that's a liability issue, but it's just a shell, basically.
There was a time when you could buy every single part of a Volkswagen, like literally every single part.
Mm-hmm.
There was a store up in East Orlando where you could go in there. You could order the frame. You could order the frickin' chassis. You could order like all the panels. Like if it existed on a Volkswagen, you could order it and it was cheap. So if you were one of those guys that had all the tools and shit at your house, like frickin' Vic, you could order enough parts to literally just build a brand new Volkswagen.
What was the name of that company out of Chicago that had all the auto parts out of it?
Legitimate Businessmen's Association Company.
Yeah, no. Chicago. I mean, that sounds like a Chicago company.
It was a huge Chicago warehouse with auto parts. Mail order.
The legitimate business. Don't worry about us police officers. We're not doing anything illegal, company.
Yeah, exactly. I still think the best company that Frank Sinatra never invested in, and I remember seeing the guy tell the story somewhere. A gentleman offered him shares in a company to invest in a company called Alleged Mob Ties that basically made neckties. And Sinatra was like, "I'm good."
Yeah.
I can't remember it.
Westphalia was new. It came out, I think, maybe late 70s, early 80s. And the Westphalia was really cool. But for some reason, people didn't like it. Whereas I had the 71 bus with the camper top, and it had the fold down bed in the back and everything. And that was the one everyone loved. You know, your standard kind of round faced, flat faced VW with the tire on the front and the big smiley face. Because I was the gothy hippie. Chicks love that thing, I'll tell you that. You know. And Hungar loved that thing too, because we would go to the beach fishing, and we'd be fishing all night in the surf. And if you got tired, it was like, you know, go back to the truck, you know, go back to the bus and, you know, lock the door and pull the bed down, go to sleep, you know.
They were supposed to release a electric version of the Westphalia. And I remember they announced it like 5-7 years ago, and I remember seeing the articles and then it just vanished. Never heard about it again.
Yep.
Right.
I was like,
I found the name for you. Remember J.C. Whitney?
Yeah.
That was the. I bet you that was a auto parts place because you could buy anything through J.C. Whitney.
Yeah, when I replaced the camshaft on my Volkswagen engine,
yeah,
it was cheap, but because I had to, because they had to bore the actual case out,
yeah,
right? Then I had to actually put sleeves on it and then drop it in.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I have this book that's like an idiot's guide to building Volkswagens or some shit. And it really is that simple, you know. Yes, women did like the bus. And it was a manual, standard German H. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you want to go in reverse, you push down on the shifter. It would actually push down, and then you did like that. And that would be your reverse gear. And it would just putter right along, man. Just keep on rocking, man, you know. But I upgraded mine because I'm that guy. I had like an oil radiator in the front under the bumper with the hoses that ran down so that the oil pump pumped the extra oil through the radiator and back to, you know, keep it cool, because that's the main thing with an air-cooled engine is, you know, keep that thing cool. 70 grand for the new Westphalia. Yeah, dude, look at the price of some of these new trucks. It's like 100 grand for freaking King Cab F-250. Get out of here.
Why would you spend that much money on a fucking vehicle?
Well, you know why vehicles are so damn expensive, don't you? It's because of the medical stuff that they've got to cover for all the union members and stuff like that. The guy at Ford, I think it was, said in a statement that he's running more of a medical corporation than a manufacturing corporation, because he's got to go through all that stuff, you know.
I don't know if it's still true or not, but I know 10, 12 years ago, Starbucks used to pay more for its employees' medical insurance than they used to pay for the logistics on the beans.
Oh, I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Always going to depend on which Starbucks. Some are really, really good, and some are in states where they get away with doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've never had good Starbucks coffee.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't exist. There's no such thing.
I honestly believe they exist only to burn the shit out of the bean.
Well, Hungar is a huge fan of Starbucks, and I always ask him what he's doing drinking that common coffee. And, you know, but he seems to like it.
They always
Yeah,
have the hottest girls are there.
I drink
It's
Puerto
for
Rican
coffee. Coffee for
espresso.
people who don't know what coffee is, man.
Well, there's a couple places. One down there in Florida that my girlfriend loves, right outside of Venice. I think it's called Black Gold. You can smell them roasting the coffee, and the guy is like an artist at it. And he personally goes down to the docks in Miami with a van or a pickup truck or something, picks up the coffee as soon as it comes off the ship, and hauls it back up to his place and roasts it then. So it isn't sitting in a warehouse for 7-8 months, and then shipped to Seattle.
Do you have any idea how long coffee sits in a warehouse for, man? It's not as long as you think, Vic. It moves. I used to work for Keurig, and we used to have to learn all about this garbage about coffee. I was like, what am I going to learn about coffee? Press a button, it's a Keurig. My God, the shit I learned about coffee is insane. That stuff does not sit around for long. It can't.
No.
It has to be moved fast to get processed and then brought into the market, right? Yeah. So there are other things that'll sit forever. Rice will sit forever. You know what I mean?
That.
Onions will sit forever. But coffee, it moves. The problem is this fucking Starbucks just burns their fucking coffee, and they think that's a flavor additive. Oh. They think that burnt taste means something, and it doesn't. It just ruins the fucking coffee. But that's what I said. Starbucks is good coffee for people who do not understand what good coffee is. Once you have really good coffee, like you're saying this guy roasts his own beans and shit, that guy's probably got great coffee. You'll be blown away. You're like, oh, I get why this shit shot like lightning through Europe when it arrived, because it's so fucking good, you know?
Well, I just got bean soup, so.
Was that James?
I'm lucky because the area I live in the Orlando area, has a huge population of Vietnamese. I mean, to the point that we have in East Orlando, Little Vietnam, which is like nice. 8 square blocks of just Vietnamese businesses and what. So if I want to go get like Vietnamese coffee, it's a mile and a half down the street. And I'll tell you what, guys, if you've never had Vietnamese coffee, you've never had coffee. Because
other than Vietnamese, what is the other language they speak in Vietnam, sir?
French.
Guess how many Vietnamese we have in this city? A lot. So we used to work at the radio station. We used to go for lunch to this little Vietnamese shop that was across the street from the station and get Vietnamese sandwiches, which are amazing. Like if you've never had a Vietnamese sandwich,
the banh mi or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. And we'd get the coffee, and I'm telling you, man,
yeah,
Vietnamese and their ladies are pretty.
And our Vietnamese people are super cool because even though it's been so many generations, they're still so happy to be here. Because they were the ones that were being pulled off of rooftops and shit, towards the end. So they all settled in the middle of Orlando for some reason. And they're just like, we love America, boy. They love it. And, man, they make, and you know what else is weird? Vietnamese people, for some reason, love opening donut shops.
Yes.
There's Vietnamese donut shops everywhere. And they're good. I mean, you go in and buy a dozen donuts, way better than Dunkin' or anything. Because Dunkin' Donuts, no matter when you go, their donuts always taste a little stale. But you could go to the Vietnamese place and you can watch them coming right off the line, And
I always think there's an abject difference between the restaurant that orders stuff through places like Cisco and all those big warehouses, and the restaurant that the guy goes over to Costco and the grocery store and buys the fresh ingredients and stuff and puts it out there.
These guys have been in this town as long as my family has had anyone live in this area.
I'll give you a secret. I'll give you a secret for San Antonio. Back about 15 years ago, we had an influx of Vietnamese and a little bit of Chinese came over. And they started opening up these little bakery shops with donuts and kolaches being their main food items they sell. And there are no better places to go in San Antonio for donuts than a Vietnamese shop. God bless you.
Thank you.
If you're in San Antonio, there are plenty of good shops here that are native owned. They sell like a Mexican style sweet bread.
Mhm.
That's not really my jam though. But you
Right.
give these Vietnamese people the ability to go to Costco and pick up all the flour they need and all the ingredients they need through their own independent warehousing. They crank out some of the best stuff, and we have like a mile and a quarter from where I live. They have a shop where you can get a maple syrup bacon donut.
Yeah, you say that like that's a thing in Canada. We can get that. A lot of places have that one. It's kind of funny. It's like, really? I see. Yes, that donut that it was all the rage in Canada in 2009. I understand.
Really, that donut that's made out of like everything people naturally assume is Canadian.
You know what I mean? Like, hey,
It's a donut with maple syrup and bacon on it. I mean,
Like,
that'd be like,
I never
attributed
Canadian. You
Canada
can put
bacon.
just a bunch of poutine on the top of it and make it a really Canadian experience, please.
right.
It was
Serve it with
everywhere.
beer.
It was insane how much maple and bacon there was running through this fucking country in 2009 because of the hipsters.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Wait, you guys had a bacon infusion going on in 10 years ago?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
everyone does. It was everywhere in the world. It was what I used to tell my friends. They were like, "I'm so fucking sick of these fucking millennial hipsters." I said, "Don't worry, they eat so much fucking bacon. They're all going to die in their 50s. We don't have to put up with them for too much longer. We're Gen X. We might make it to our 70s. They'll be dropping dead."
Yeah.
There's no such thing as Canadian bacon, you fucking weirdo. You call it that. We call it back bacon. I can go get some out of the fridge, and you're in UK, they call it pie meal.
I think we have back bacon too.
We can
Well,
get
back bacon is, or breakfast bacon, or breakfast ham is
Right.
the word we use here. Now we use Canadian bacon in some provinces because of you guys using it so much that we've now adopted the term, but the Brits still call it pie meal, right?
Mhm.
They have like pie meal bacon. Then what we normally call bacon, what we all agree is just stripped bacon, they call streaky bacon because of the fat lines in it.
I love it.
Which is just made out of pork belly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Shark. In this area, if you go to a nail salon, it's Vietnamese, donut shops, and I don't know about the shrimp fishing, but you know, if you go to Little Vietnam on Colonial Drive in Orlando, you can literally find anything from a jewelry store to a grocery store to like 9 restaurants, all competing to try and serve you various
We got a
Vietnamese
huge
dishes.
Hmong population up in St. Paul here. The girlfriend and I always go up and hit a couple different. They got a flea market, and then they also got a grocery store up there, a huge grocery store. We're like, yeah, we don't bother going to our local American stuff for certain ingredients. It's like, no, it probably sits on the shelf there for I don't know how long before it's just about expired. Then they put it on sale. But if you go up to the other ones, it's like, oh, it's fresh. It's just got put on the shelf, you know.
Yeah, like I know I've told the story before, but Hungar always goes to the nearest city, if you can call it that, from where we live in Kentucky. And I say that because there's only 12,000 people as the total population, which isn't even the size of the amount of people that live in my subdivision. And they have an Asian store there that literally has everything. But every time I've ever been there with him, everyone who works there is white guys. So it's like, okay, maybe the owner is an actual Asian guy and he had to hire white guys because let's be honest, in that part of Kentucky, 99% of the population is white guys. You hardly ever see a minority, except for Filipinos. You see a lot of Filipinos here and there because people married them and brought them in. So when you see a Filipino, usually it's somebody's wife.
See, in Canada, it's just straight up immigration from the Philippines. We have tons of Filipinos here. In Winnipeg, where Coco, I don't know if you guys know Coco from some of my live plays, he lives in Winnipeg. And Winnipeg is the coldest fucking city in Canada. Like, I'm not even remotely kidding. We call it Winterpeg. Like, that's the nickname for it. There's an intersection of two streets called Main and Portage, which the winds are so high, the sidewalk goes underground through that intersection. Like, it goes down into a tunnel because you'll get blown right off the fucking sidewalk. And if it's icy, straight into traffic otherwise, right?
Right.
They have the highest percentage of Filipinos living there. And all we can figure out is that someone from the Philippines must have moved there, fell in love with the place, and told everybody back home this is the place to be, because we cannot in our brains figure out how you go from the tropics to fucking Winterpeg. Like, that would be like going, you know what? I love living in Hawaii. Hawaii is so nice. Every day is beautiful. It is paradise. But I think I want to live in Siberia now. Like, it's just so fucked.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
At least
It's sort of like the guy who offered me a job back in Fargo, North Dakota. He called me up and offered me a job here about, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. Said, hey, why don't you come back up to Fargo? And I said, for what?
For what?
He named a number. It was a decent number. I admit it. The number was decent. But I just thought back to those, negative 45, negative 50 days in the wintertime. And,
Wow.
no, thank you. I don't need to go,
What's the matter for you? It's not so bad. You put on some layers.
Yeah.
See, the thing is,
you walk outside and it's negative 50 and your breath instantly goes from
Yeah.
I can breathe normally to I gotta take little short breaths, otherwise you're gonna freeze the inside of your lungs out.
Yeah.
I know when I was up visiting in Alaska, we had to wear glasses that looked like French louver windows. Did you ever have to wear those?
Oh, for snow blindness?
Yeah, because the sun reflecting off the snow, I guess, will burn the corneas out of your eyes. So these glasses, they look like glasses, but they got just
the coldest I ever was in North Dakota was the wind was like 60, 80 miles an hour, and it's like negative 20 out or something like that. And I'm driving a semi truck. And let me tell you what, when you have to keep your semi truck idling at 1500 RPM, which is normally your highway RPMs going down the road, just to keep it warm enough so you could drive it. Oh my God. It was crazy. I thought for sure at a couple points of time my semi truck was going to stall out on me, but yeah, 1500 RPMs, man, on a big cat diesel.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
George's second favorite Canadian stealth camps in Edmonton all the time in the winter.
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
His second favorite Canadian YouTuber stealth camps in Edmonton in the winter.
Edmonton is a fucking brutal town, to be honest. I would not want to be there in the middle of winter, that's for sure. You know what's really funny? The drivers are so bad in Edmonton. I remember when I was there, we were driving through, and every fucking intersection, there was a sign that said, caution, high collision intersection. First time we saw it, we're like, oh, this must be a bad place. Then we saw it at the next one. And then another one. And by the 10th one, we're like, what the fuck are these people doing here? Like, what is happening in this town? Never saw any collisions while we were there. But we did see the West Edmonton Mall. That was nice.
One of my closest bros lived in Calgary.
Calgary's different. Calgary is like, so the best way to describe the difference between Edmonton and Calgary is like, Calgary is Texas. Edmonton is like Arkansas. You know what I mean? Like, they're that different between the two of them.
Yeah, he works on the oil fields.
Yeah. The oil fields go north. They go north for the oil fields, and then they live out of Calgary, and they get paid so much.
Like they would fly him up,
yeah,
and then he'd live in like a little, like one of those container things, but outfitted for the cold. Oh, yeah. They'd work like all day, and then after a couple months, they'd get their pay and come home.
Yeah,
and apparently that was his thing, man. Like, all right. He's a good guy, but Yeah, I think Filipino women in Kentucky, other than the fact that it gets a little cold a couple times a month, they probably feel right at home. Because, I mean, it's hilly and kind of country and, you know.
Is Edmonton? I have to ask: is Edmonton the largest city that far north?
No, Winnipeg's further north.
No, it isn't. Winnipeg
And
is not.
Edmonton?
No.
Winnipeg and Edmonton? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look because
Winnipeg's like 75 miles from the North Dakota border. Wow.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm looking. Hang on. Slow your fucking American asses down for a second. Yeah, I know. Regina's further north. Saskatoon's further north. That's a good point. Edmonton, yeah, for the Capitals. Yeah, Edmonton wins. Yeah.
Regina. It rhymes with fun.
Regina, the town that rhymes with fun. Yes, sir.
Regina is nothing but a man.
Yeah, Edmonton. Yeah, you're right. Edmonton is the furthest north, I guess, for us. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's not the coldest. Winnipeg.
Oh no, God no.
Winnipeg is hands down the coldest.
Really?
Does that mean that America actually has towns that are further north than Canada?
Yeah. In Alaska.
Anchorage is further north than Edmonton.
Yeah, but we also have we have like fucking the Northwest Territories, Nunavut, Yukon. We got stuff up north.
Yeah, there's
Canada has cities well north of US.
No, I mean no. You guys still got the cake. You guys got Fairbanks. Fairbanks is way northern than anything we have.
Well,
there's even that little town up in Barron.
Or Dawson City up in the Yukon.
Yeah, that's still not as far north. It's I think Fairbanks is still further north than Dawson. Yeah, not by much, but yeah, it is. By about 50K.
Wow.
For places of name, not like little shit villages full of, people just trying to fucking eat reindeer.
Right.
No. That's right, caribou.
Yeah.
Caribou.
That's what we call them. Just fucking reindeer.
And not get ate by polar bears.
Well, yeah, but that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's parts of Canada that are fucking beautiful, but I start looking at like their annual temperatures and through the months, I'm like, nope.
Oh, that's okay. We just look at your annual shootings and we go, nope. I could put on a sweater.
Our shootings aren't bad if you remove gang-related and suicides.
And
then we drop to
schools and
schools are incredibly rare.
Actually, no, they're not. There's actually a really good number that you should go look up where they'd list the amount of school shootings that have happened. Then they break down what kind of school shootings they are. Mm-hmm. And you guys are having over 200 a year right now. The problem is the media just doesn't report them anymore.
Yeah, that's nothing.
It's crazy. Now, the number one cause of school shootings are gang related.
Right.
But still, it's pretty good. Don't go to PEI. Oh my God, no. Stay out of PEI.
What is PEI?
Prince Edward Island. It's one of the maritime provinces. Anna Green Gables, potatoes, all that kind of bullshit. And everyone, it's like the fucking, like Maritimers are the most wonderful people in Canada, except PEI. Ugh.
Wait, where's PEI at? Is it
right off of New Brunswick? It's between, it's a long island right off the coast of New Brunswick.
Okay.
And they, instead of having the ferries, they built a giant causeway out to it in the 90s or whatever it was, and we were all like, "Why are you wasting our money on this shit? No one wants to go to PEI. Stop." But there it is.
I'm seeing that now over at Borden Carlton. Yeah.
You can always move into a trailer park in like Newfoundland.
Newfoundland would be a nice place to live, actually. Though,
if you talk about Newfoundland too much, Janet will appear.
Okay, and that's a bad thing.
I'm just laying that out there. Like,
you got against Janet all of a sudden. Jeez, I thought you two were buddies.
She will. Her ears attuned to that shit.
I will tell her that you talk shit about me.
Like, we don't know what he was on to.
Go ahead. Tell her I hate the movie Bad Girls too.
What, the cowboy movie?
Yes.
You hate that movie?
Is Janet from Newfoundland?
She was born there.
Why do you hate Bad Girls? Listen, I don't give a fuck about where Janet's born. I want to know why you hate such a good.
Was a horrible film. Like,
okay,
It's not the level of bad that we watched yesterday with Ace Ventura, but it's bad.
Oh my god, she told me, she sent me the message. We're watching Ace Ventura. I went, have fun with that. I hate that fucking movie. Great show.
Yeah.
Like I liked that movie when I was like 19.
Yeah, I liked that movie before my testicles dropped. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, that movie's so shit.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. But where is it? What province exactly is it that the Trailer Park Boys are in?
Nova Scotia, and specifically Halifax, and then specifically Dartmouth, which is on the other side of the harbor, and is referred to as Dark Side, which is where I was born.
Oh, so
That explains some things.
Eat my dick.
Yeah, I'm seeing a correlation here.
Really? What exact correlation are you seeing between alcoholic, cigarette-smoking trailer park boys who are always running a scam and me? I would love to know.
Right.
Okay, Bear, you are always self-promoting.
No, I'm not. I am constantly telling you guys to shut the fuck up about my projects, and you're always like, "Oh, we got Bear doing this." No, stop.
I don't care if you self-promote or not. I mean,
But I don't. That's the point.
I don't think you do, but I wouldn't care if you did.
He's okay. The reason why I give him grief about it is because it's from a point of envy. His product is so fucking good.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Thank you. Fuck.
I'm not trying to suck your dick or anything on that.
No, I know. I just would like my life to be about being a normal person sometimes, and not about this fucking project that's sinking me financially into a fucking hole I'm never getting out of.
Well, good luck with that. You're Canadian, so I don't think
Yeah.
you'll ever be a normal person.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, you're. Is Letterkenny from Canada?
Yes.
Okay, so see, you guys can be normal.
You consider anyone on Letterkenny normal?
That show is way too good.
It's like,
Don't watch it. Don't know.
well, apparently it's about a bunch of asshats in Ontario or some place.
Fully believable. That province is full of them.
And they live in a little town that has 500 people and was settled by Irishmen however many years ago, and they constantly just get into shit with each other because in this little town of 500 or 5,000 people, there's like the three cliques. It's like the sportsters, the farmers, and the drug users. And that's not including the natives. And like each of these three cliques is constantly like, you know, effing with the other cliques. So, you know, they're always getting into these rows with each other.
Shark over there making sure he kicks Canada a little harder. You know, Condor DM is from Canada.
Condor came on my channel and said he did not hate me and he don't talk about me anymore. And
when was this?
It's like, that was nice.
When was this?
A couple weeks ago, a week ago, maybe. The bartender, yeah, she's like the Haitian bartender that's always trying to sleep with everybody. Yeah. But
Barry, you do really good on that job, and I hope you make a lot more money than what I donate to you. But I started my donations.
Well, thank you. It's appreciated, sir. And all I need is to win the fucking lotto, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, but you're actually the second person I'm going to contact if I win the Mega Millions.
Well, thank you.
The first person going to be Janet. Janet, we're going to get you set up with a little house down here in Allergyville, because I know how you are with your allergies. Nothing's going to change from where you live right now. It's just going to be a little bit better Mexican food. Bear, I know you won't accept a place in Texas, but we'll try to do something for you. Get you maybe over to Alberta or something.
I would happily live in Texas. I just need the fucking biggest AC unit in the world because you guys have crazy summers.
mm-hmm.
Our summers last from mid-February to November, sir.
Exactly.
What are you trying to say?
You know what?
What are you trying to say, man? What are you trying to say?
I don't even know what project you're working on, Bear. So how about that?
Exactly. See, but I self promote. That's clearly what I do. No, I have a little projecty thingy role playing game called Heroic that we're bringing out. It's a superhero game. Blah 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 blah.
Oh.
And we made our money on Backer Kit and did the best we could with it. And then a couple of things happened that fucked us over really right and proper. First one was our artist who had agreed to do the art for the whole project for a flat rate had a mental health issue and had to drop out of the project. So we had to start buying art a la carte, which is way more expensive.
Ouch.
Second was we had a lot of failed pledges that never came through. So we lost almost $2,000 on that bullshit. Third was, the Canadian dollar tanked. And because I'm in Canada, I had to do it in fucking Canadian funds. And everybody wants to be paid in USD, right? Every fucking person, even if they're in Brazil, they want to be paid in American funds. So I had to add 40 cents to every fucking dollar minimum. So that cut my funds in half. And then, fucking insane inflation happened and everything, you know what I mean? So it's just like, we went from having just enough money to get the project done to, oh boy, I'm going to have to put a lot of money into this, to, oh fuck, I'm going to have to put a lot of money into this.
Yep, I know what you're dealing with. I got my.
But thankfully, the backers have been super cool, and we have told them and been honest with them the whole way that like this comes out when it's ready. Like we're not going to promise you a date. You know what I mean? But yeah.
That's why my Cutthroats and Thieves, or not Cutthroats and Thieves. Cutthroats and Thieves I already did, but Curses, Deck of Many Curses is so high. I could do it for half, but I'm like, after you pay shipping and you pay, the dollar, everybody wants to get paid in dollars. Everybody wants to get paid in, you know what I mean? And all this other stuff. And you're just like, all right, I'm trying to cut down because Kickstarter gets 10% of it. You know what I mean? And it's just like,
that's nothing.
It's like they say they want to be paid in hard currency.
Yeah.
They're not interested in whatever.
Yeah, so I'm just, if it goes through, it goes through. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I found a way I could do it through TTR, or not TTRP, Drive-Through RPG does some cards, and I might be just pumping it through Drive-Through RPG and hope it goes through there well. So we'll see. All depends on what happens with Dave Con and stuff like that. I'll get it all. It's all done. I just gotta, upload it all. So now I'm working on my deck of random encounters and stuff. Oh, by the way, I excommunicated the paladin this weekend. He wasn't happy.
Well,
that's what he gets for hanging out with druids and chaotic neutral clerics and stuff like that. So
that is a thing with paladins in AD&D. You can join a group of non-lawful goods, but only for like a very short period of time to do a mission. You good?
Yeah, he was a few months. He was a few months adventuring with him, and I just decided to yank his cord. So
I believe that.
He had it coming, but otherwise it was a decent session. They made it to the Kingdom of Selene. They haven't put the rod or wand staff together, which I was hoping they were going to do, because the staff would turns them into, whoever possesses the staff turns them into an elf, eventually, so. And one of them pulled a curse. One of them decided to go into a store and steal a weapon. And I made him roll a D8, and he rolled it, and he got himself a chronic case of the number twos, wet number twos.
Poopies.
Yes.
You got the poopies.
He pulled a card from the deck, and that's what he pulled. And I was like, "You're lucky. I mean, you could have died."
No, he still could. It's got dysentery. People die of that.
Yeah, well, he got it cured eventually. It cost him a bundle of money, but he got it cured. So.
It's like you're more likely to die from that than from actually getting shot in combat.
Yeah. Oh, and they ran into a leprechaun that ripped off 3 of them while they were pulling guard duty, and the Leprechaun ripped them off too. So
Get it right. That would be a Cluricon. Leprechauns are nice. Cluricons are not.
no, it says right in the AD&D book they're neutral.
Yeah.
You lifted a potion and two bags of gold, and I rolled it, and it came out that you did it just fine. So they weren't happy. They were penniless. A couple of them were. So, but I thought of some new hooks when I was this weekend when I was watching The Outpost. I don't know if any of you guys watched that show on Prime. They use a lot of carrier pigeons for messages and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, here's a good hook. You find a dead pigeon with a note, you know what I mean? A note taped to it or inside the little cylinder, and you read it, and it's gives some vital information that you could act on and stuff like that. And, you know, it was
That's
just
cool.
Then there was the cults. I got to go back to using the cults again.
I watched From Beyond last night.
Great
and
movie.
then followed it up with
Reanimator.
Event Horizon,
Oh, almost as good.
and then fell asleep.
From Beyond is a really hard movie to watch because Barbara Crampton in that outfit just fucking
Oh yeah,
just
Trying to have
killed
one
me when I was a
leg.
teenager. Dear God, that killed me when I was a teenager.
We watched an Australian show called Population 11 on Prime. And it's about a true story about a guy who went missing out in Western Australia. Well, it's adapted from the true story of the guy who went missing out in Western Australia or Northern Australia. It was quite humorous. So it was. I think you'd get a kick out of it, James. Maybe Bear would. I don't know if he likes Australian humor at all, but
Hit or miss.
yeah.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's good, and the rest of the time it's like
They have a penchant to either do really good, intelligent humor or just degenerate into like poop jokes, and I can't fucking stand poop jokes. You know?
Oh no, there wasn't any poop jokes in this. What was the other one that we watched from Australia? Something is in a lake, something or other in Northern Territories. It was a murder mystery thing with some humor, but that was good too. I don't know why we keep running into these when we're on Amazon, but we keep doing it. So
I have like the same couple of movies that are my go-tos when I want to go to sleep. Like one of my favorite going to sleep movies is called Happy People. How you doing, Jeff? Which is about the people who live in Batia in Siberia, and it just follows like a year of their lives, and it's narrated by what's his name, Herzog Werner or whatever his name is.
Werner Herzog.
Werner Herzog.
Yeah. Okay, I said his name backwards, but and his voice is so calm, you know, when he's talking. He's like, you know, this is Siberia, and he's doing the whole thing, and it's like that. I'll tell you what, those are some healthy dudes too, because the one guy, Gennady, whatever, he's a hunter, and I figured out like his age. It during the course of the show, he's like 80 years old, and he is out in the woods making his own skis and making Olchanka traps, and I mean working hard. This guy's busting ass. He's like 80. I'm like, damn.
the show was Tropo, Troppo. The one that's about an American that moves to the Northern Territories, and to clear his name, he's doing some private investigative work and stuff like that. So
I think the last Australian movie I saw was where like a bunch of zombies were running around killing people. And then like the guy ended up leaving his baby with the Aborigines because he got bit.
Mm.
That was pretty good.
Have you seen the movie called Suitable Flesh?
I have not.
It's Barbara Crampton and the girl from License to Drive, Heather Graham.
Right.
And it's a take on The Thing on the Doorstep by Lovecraft.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Looks really good. Probably going to try to view it here with Janet soon because she says she likes horror movies. Okay, cool. We'll do horror. We'll do the entire fucking Barbara Crampton set.
Cool. Let me know what days.
The
Say
thing,
again, sir?
the
Let
thing
me know
on the
what
first
days
step
you're
was
doing
really
them.
good.
I'll do that. I haven't got it on the calendar yet. I just am. So I'm syllabling. I'm sounding it out here on the stream with you guys. Next week is Cat People from 1942.
Oh my
The
goodness.
original. Wow.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And we might watch Cat People from 82 after that if we have time because it's only like an hour and 10 minutes. So if we watch that, then the Cat People, that's like almost 3 hours. I could see that.
You can also watch it had Vincent Price in it where he played Charles Dexter Ward or some shit like that.
Oh,
And they were in the town where everyone in the town was mutated. And it was like his fault. And then like when he was in the castle, like the ghost of his grandfather was trying to take over his body, and it was a whole thing. It was really good for H.P. Lovecraft movie. And then the little kind of stop animation comic thing they have for Rats in the Walls, pretty good. I'm a fan. But Rats in the Walls is one of my favorite Lovecraft stories. Not my favorite. My favorite's Mountains of Madness, which Del Toro's been trying to get the go ahead to do for 10 years, but they'll never let him do it for some reason. I don't know why. It would be cool if they would.
I need coffee. I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay.
I keep waiting for them to do a At the Mountains of Madness expansion for my Mansions of Madness game, and At the Mountains of Madness expansion to that would be pretty badass.
Yeah, Shark playing with Vincent Price would be a hoot. But who's the lady that Vin Diesel? She's met Dame. Oh God, he was in the movies with her. Vin Diesel and Dame.
Judi Dench.
Yep, Dame Judi Dench plays Dungeons and Dragons with her grandkids. Could you imagine playing with Dame Judi Dench? That's the person I would like to see at a convention. Just to see her, what her, her spin on it.
The thing about her is, like, when she was young, there was not a single movie she was ever in where you didn't get to see her naked.
Hey, teach their own,
That was kind of her thing back in the day.
Well, like I said, it's to each their own on that type of thing. If you want to walk around butt naked,
I'm not saying a thing. I'm just saying that when she was young, she liked being naked on film. Girls on film. But
Are we talking about Helen Mirren?
Yeah.
She liked being naked on film when she was young.
Yeah, every movie
God
she was
bless
in,
her.
it was like a countdown. Like, how long is it going to take before she's buck naked?
Caligula, baby. That's all I'm going to say. Well, who were you referring to? Judi Dench?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't remember seeing Judi Dench naked, but I believe it happened.
Yeah. When she was really, really young.
I found some older pictures of Betty White when she was young.
Oh, yeah, modeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her husband was a lucky guy. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, you know. Yeah.
Meanwhile, B. Arthur was never hot.
No.
Agreed. Another was Rue McClanahan, although she was in Starship Troopers.
Was she?
She's the teacher when they're dissecting the bugs.
Oh. Yeah, my brain is weird. The only teacher I remember from Starship Troopers is Ironside.
Ironsides, yeah.
Yeah, you know, talking all that shit.
My buddies worked on a film with him here in Montreal. And when they met him on set, they did the Wayne's World We're Not Worthy thing.
Yeah.
And apparently he just looked at them like they grew a second. He's like, get the fuck up. What's wrong with you two? He was not impressed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I would probably pull some shit like that if it would get a laugh out of him. But if he would be pissed off, I'd be like, no, let me not do this.
I loved his character in Total Recall.
Oh, yeah.
Just the whole everything about him was cool, you know. And I don't know if he was ever anybody, but the guy with the glasses, that was always.
Oh, yeah, I don't know who that guy is. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I don't blame you. If my wife was porking someone like that, I'd be pissed too. Or some shit. What are you saying? She enjoys it? No, I'm sure she hates every minute of it. It's just
I think he died.
Shark would drink Selma Hayek's bath water.
Yeah, well, some people have no taste.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Shark. Selma Hayek is ew. There are so many better looking Mexican women in this world than that one.
I would. Who is Joe Manganiello married to?
She's Colombian. That's Sofia Vergara. She's from Colombia.
The Colombian woman.
Yeah, Michael Champion was the guy that he wore the glasses in Total Recall. No, I'm sure she hated every minute of it.
Yeah.
He died in 2021 at the age of 74.
That's a good run. Anything over 70 is a good run, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Right. Have
I
you
agree.
looked at the age difference between Manganiello and
Vergara?
his wife?
Well,
Yeah, he's like 8 years, 9 years younger, or something like that, wasn't it?
Or sorry, they're separated.
Are they separated?
They're getting a divorce. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I guess she figured out that her husband was a giant man baby and went, you know what? I think I'm going to go get some, guy that doesn't play D&D all day long. And maybe does some actual film work.
Uh-oh.
Isn't he on some new show now that it's some Survivor Series show or something like that? This type show?
I'm looking at his IMDb right now, and there's really not a whole lot he's doing. He did a video for The Collector, or for Billy Morrison, and then he did this show called Big City Greens, and that wrapped up last year. He only did 3 episodes of it. It's Viper Fang. That was a TV series he did a voice for. And last year he also did a show called The Kill Room, and that was all of his real work. Theme song takeover is Viper Fang. He did Magic Mike's Last Dance as Big Dick Ritchie. Nope. Yeah, that was his first thing in 23, and his last thing was Big City Greens. but he did very little work in the last 2 years.
He I think he just hit it off as the werewolf, and just that was just kind of it for him, you know. It's like no one really gave a shit. You know, he got his start on like Seinfeld.
Seinfeld or Spider-Man, one of those two.
Yeah, he was on Seinfeld. I think he played what's her name's boyfriend, Jane or whatever her name is. Yeah, he was on that for a while. A couple episodes anyway. It's like, but well, you know, Colombian lady decides to divorce your ass. I would probably just go ahead and go. I probably wouldn't fight it. You don't know what her family's like.
She's 4 years older than him. Okay.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought.
No.
Whatever. You know, I mean, my girlfriend's almost 9 years older than me, so what do I, you know?
So you're a cougar cub.
Well, whatever. I got a buddy that's my best friend from high school. His wife is no. I gotta do the math in my head. She's like 13 or 14 years older than him.
Yeah, my wife's like 3 months older than me, but I'm always saying she's a cougar.
Yeah, well.
And then she always laughs. It's one of our little jokes.
Hey, every couple has their laughs. Their little inside jokes that
yeah
you could say to each other. It just you get a smile out of each other's faces, and you know.
I always laugh about her robbing the cradle and stuff. And then she's like, "I'm literally only 3 months older than you."
Well, I tease mine about some of her purchases sometimes. I go to the mailbox, I'll pick something up, and something will be in there. It's always clothing of some type, but I always name it as one thing. It's like, yeah, you got another pair of you know what. She doesn't like that one bit, but you know, then she reveals what's in the bag. You know what I mean? She doesn't hide it. That's just like, no, I did not do that.
My wife just don't spend money.
Mine loves going to the thrift stores, but she does it with her clients a lot. So because she works with this mentally disabled and stuff, so she, you know, she's always going to a thrift store. So it's just like, oh, well, you know, 90% of our pots and pans are probably thrift store stuff. I can only think of about 2 or 3 items that I've bought directly from a manufacturer anymore, because you can go to you can go get Pyrex online for like $15 for a little bowl or whatever. Go to a thrift store and you'll see 30 of them sitting there for $2.99 each, and it's like, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, and just pile them up and bring them home, you know.
I'm preparing to move to the new apartment, and I have to get my own fridge and stove, right? Because a lot of apartments here sometimes don't have fridge and stove. Right. So I was looking online at brand new ones, and the prices they charge for fridges and stoves, brand new, is absolutely criminal. Mm-hmm. It's comparable to what they charge for mattresses. It's absolutely fucking insane. Like $1,200 for the stove, and $1,500 for the fridge. So we have this thing here in Montreal called Electroménager, which is basically stores that buy old fridges and stoves, make sure they're working, and then sell them as, used product at a thrift store.
Or rehabs, right.
Yeah, rehabs, basically. So I'm looking around for a good fridge and stove now here that I'm going to get from a rehab and pay less than what one of those items would cost me new. It's insane.
I know.
It's absolutely mental.
Like used cars. You know what? You go to the dealership and you see a 2-year-old Tesla, and it's come down from 120,000 to 60,000. You know, it's like,
yeah.
Still
Well,
can't.
the problem is, I was watching a thing on YouTube with dealerships, is they're not able to move inventory, and the whole process of selling cars was supposed to be a high turnover thing, but because the prices have went so far up, no one's really buying cars. So the cars are basically rotting on the lot. And a lot of car dealerships are actually telling the factories not to send them any more cars.
Well, yeah,
And
you're
you
paying.
know, it's it's going to come to a head eventually.
Well, then it's eating into their floor plan.
Mhm.
Financing. It's that floor plan financing that they're eating into, and yeah, you're not going to make a lot of money paying interest. I mean, it's just like paying interest on a credit card. You got 3,000 cars sitting out there. Oh my God, that eats up some cash.
Yeah, because the factory gives them like a month of no interest, but
Yep.
then after that, they have to pay interest on that car. So if they have 500 cars sitting on the lot that's been there for months.
But then also you see in the window stickers. I love watching these window stickers. Oh, we've got yeah, we got to do the cleanup after it comes from the factory. We've got to do this on the car after it comes from the factory. We got to do this from the car. And you see the markups on it, and just like, how you're getting ripped off, people. Just all you have to do is look at all this stuff: dealer destination services and delivery fees and this and that and this and that. And it's just like, yeah, you people are getting hammered here on these prices,
Mhm.
So, and
And they're trying to rip you off basically to get it's it's nuts. I mean, when I bought my last new car, it was a Fiat and it had like 12 miles on it, and I paid $11,000.
Yeah.
So I was able to put a massive down payment down and drive it right out of the lot, and my monthly payments were like under $150. You know what I mean?
I went to a dealer once with $25,000 in cash, and they did not want to finance the car for me the rest of the way, and it was only like $6,000. They didn't want to do it. I'm just like,
Because they weren't making any money.
oh, I know. Like, see what I care,
But the
was
lot
it?
I went to, which was over on the East Coast,
Yeah.
they had this thing there and it had been there a little while. So for them, me showing up was like the best thing ever because they were just emptying inventory at that point. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Before they were going, well, they probably might have even had to start paying on it. But I showed up and I'm like, I've got this amount of money, I've got this credit rating. I'm willing to put, it was basically half of the cost of the car down. And they're like, oh yeah. They took care of it all. Went out, started her up, drove her home. Great car, man. Never had a problem with it, except for one thing, and that is something Americans don't know, was that Fiats, the way they're designed, the engines don't hold compression. So if you let it sit for a week and you get in the car and you turn to start it, it'll go.
Yeah, it's got to build it up.
And if you don't know anything about them, you'll be like, holy shit, my car's jacked up, right? No, you just sit there and turn it and you keep turning it, and eventually it'll start because it will build up the compression. I didn't know that. And one time I let it sit out front of the house for like a month. And when I went out to check on it, it was like, it wouldn't start. And then I'm calling people and being like, and of course, everyone I called, none of them knew anything about a Fiat. So eventually I called my uncle, who is a, actual certified mechanic. And he said, let me do some research. And he researched it and called back. And he's like, hey, here's the deal. Just sit out there and start it. And after about, however long, it'll start. And I'm like, okay, and sure as hell. Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody
I mean, I got my Ford pickup truck out here. I know it'll start. I just got to plug it in right now because it's so damn cold outside. I think we were in the -5 or -6 range last night. I'm just like, it'll start. It just, if I plug it in for a half hour, it'll come around, no problem. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, the car my pops had, well, not my pops, but anyway, the car that they had when I was in Alaska, in the front where the grill was, there was an actual power cable that you could pull out to plug it into the wall.
yep, that's what mine is. So
Yeah. And I always thought that was just the weirdest thing because, I mean, everywhere I'd ever lived had never been a place that got so cold that you'd have to worry about diesel freezing in the tank or whatever. But,
when I spec'd out my first semi truck, let me tell you, I had tank heaters, a block heater. I had an insulated block or insulated oil pan on the block. I put insulation underneath the hood, insulation in the sleeper. I had when I got done at the dealer looked at me and says, "This is built for an Alaska truck." And I said, "Congratulations! I live in North Dakota. What do you want? What do you expect me to have?"
yeah, North Dakota. Hungar will tell you that North Dakota was way colder than Alaska.
I got to run, gentlemen. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to close this down anyway.
Bear, you have a good day, friend.
Yep. See you later, Bear.
Take care, everybody. Have yourselves a great one. Bye-bye.
Yeah. We didn't learn much except that Bear likes House Mormont.
Yeah.
I like House Greyjoy. And Hungar seems to be a fan of the Starks, I guess he said. That's all we learned. You two never said.
I don't know what we're talking about.
A Song of Ice and Fire.
I haven't seen it, haven't read it, haven't done anything.
So you don't know anything at all. Yeah.
That sounds like an R.R. Martin novel, and that's all I know.
It is an R.R. Martin novel, but don't let that hold you against the lore of the game.
No.
Like these figures, I'm like right now I'm putting the Zenithal on it. They're Greyjoy figures.
Okay.
The thing is Seaman, they make the Song of Ice and Fire game. And as far as I used to be a massive Warhammer fantasy fan. And then they blew up the old world and they come out with Age of Sigmar, which I just thought sucked balls. It's just the worst, right? So then fast forward like 10 years and guess what they do? They're like, hey, we're bringing out the old world again. It's going to be awesome. And you're going to be able to play with all your rank and flank bullshit. Yay, right? Except when they came out with the new game, they did not include Dark Elves as a supported army. Guess who has 5,000 points worth of Dark Elves?
Well,
so I was all like, you know what, Games Workshop, you can suck my freaking schnitzel sack. I mean, it's like, how could you do this? The Dark Elves in the lore are like definitely one of the most important races in the whole old world. But you're going to come out with a game and be like, oh, yeah, we're not supporting Dark Elves. It's like, but you're supporting High Elves? I mean,
one of my players, this is years ago, they were talking about where would we find Dark Elves above ground so we don't have to go underground to chase them. And I said, well, let me do some research. And I found some way out on the east side of
bless you.
Side of the Greyhawk, World of Greyhawk. And I made a march clear across the continent to get there, only to sit there for about a month wandering up and down these mountain ranges looking for drow. And and they didn't find any, and then they left, and then they came back, and it was like a continuous campaign of them going to the same place for a while. I was like, you guys wanted to go here. Here it is. This is what you're looking for. You know?
Yeah. See, in Warhammer the Old World, the difference between a high elf and a dark elf is purely cultural, because there was a rebellion back in the day between, like, I forget the name of the king. He was the dragon rider. So then his son Melikath was supposed to ascend to the throne, but some shady deals happened to keep him off the throne, and it caused a civil war. And then what the people who would go on to be called dark elves, they fled from what is basically fantasy Atlantis in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean to North America and set up their own kingdom. But they always remembered how they'd been done wrong. And that bitterness and everything kind of made them evil as shit. Plus, they lived in an incredibly horrible environment. I mean, think Winnipeg, as Bear had said. So they're really some of the most major players in the whole frickin' setting. I mean, the stuff they did led to countless wars, and, you know, traded my Civic for a Subaru.
Yep.
And Jeff was talking about his old Ranger. Man, I wish they made trucks as good as those Ford Rangers today.
Oh yeah, I was
The
looking at
new
one
Rangers
the
are
other day.
garbage.
Yeah.
I was looking at one the other day just for a spare vehicle because I want to take my Ford pickup truck and bring it into the dealer not the body shop, get everything straightened back out, and have it painted primer gray. And then I'm thinking about body wrapping it for when I get down in Florida. And I haven't figured out what I want to do body wrap it like yet. I'm sort of balancing. Do I want to do it this way, or do I want to do it that way, or what do I want to do? Do I want to put, I could do something crazy like put a dragon on it or something like that. But right now it's just it's plain black.
I say you have it body wrapped entirely in World War II German Eastern Front ambush camouflage.
Oh.
With all the little dots, like the green and the brown and that yellowy color.
But I'm in Florida, man. So,
that would be kind of hilarious, Of course, if somebody got into an accident with you, they could complain that they couldn't see you.
Yeah.
It's like, I couldn't see him. He was so well camouflaged. Technically, it's his fault.
I really don't know. I just, somebody said I should paint, give it a, paint it red or something like that, or blue and with a white stripe down the side, sort of classic Ford pickup truck type stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know. I really like the black right now,
Right. Just back in the day, though, in the early 90s, mid 90s, whatever, I mean, Ford Rangers were just such affordable, tough little trucks, You could get them and beat the shit out of them, and they'd just run forever, and everybody loved them. It was like, I don't know what happened, why they decided to stop building good little mini trucks like that.
The cafe standards changed, and so now for them to get around cafe standards, they have to make the trucks larger. So your F-150s today are like not double the size, but they're about a third larger than the ones you used to buy back in '97. And the '97 F-150 is kind of like the base of the fucking new Ford Ranger, which is kind of crazy.
I mean, they're aluminum, and I saw a guy. He went and got some stuff loaded in one of his, and he's cracked the box on it and stuff because the stuff was too heavy. It's just like, I don't think that would happen in my steel Ford pickup truck box. You know what I mean? It's just, but you know.
You see him load a truck up, and the thing just bends in the middle.
Oh yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's no good. That's not good at all. I mean, but and then of course, as we already said, for whatever reason, Toyota Helixes aren't even allowed in America.
Well, that's the chicken tax.
Even-
That goes way back to the 60s. And
Yeah.
that goes into today with the chicken tax that we started up back then.
Even though they're like ubiquitous everywhere in the Middle East. Anywhere you go in the Middle East, there's people driving around in white Toyota Helixes.
Mhm.
They're just everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, these things, man. When I was over there, I was starting to wonder if maybe the government just gave them away, or
they're so dang cheap over there. Oh my god, I was looking at the price
10,000.
over there. It's like a third of what we pay here for that kind of stuff, and it's just like,
You don't have the mandated safety standards over there that you have.
right,
We live in a nanny state.
right. Because I kid you not, almost every single vehicle I saw in Saudi Arabia or Iraq was a Toyota Helix. And they would be hauling sheeps in it. One time we pulled one out of the sand where it got stuck, and it was being driven by like a 10-year-old kid. Because there was like 3 women there, but then there was the boy, and the boy was 10. He was driving because back then the women couldn't drive. Like one of those women was probably his mom, but they had the 10-year-old drive. We pulled him out. They called us a bunch of sons of whores. It was fun.
You guys did the good thing and they called you names. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. That's well, what they did is they did this symbol at us as they were leaving. And this means that you are the son of 5 fathers and your mother's a whore.
Wow.
And we're all like, well, that's nice. Like I said, Saudi Arabians were the worst.
I just can't stand Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, they're the worst.
Even if I wasn't a Christian, I wouldn't like Saudi Arabia.
There's nothing to like. I mean, they're a slave nation that does everything it can to F up the rest of the world. I mean, they're just terrible.
Everybody asks me, like, why are you such a fan of Iran? I don't like Iran. I like the people of Iran. I hate their government, just like I hate our government.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, that's another thing we can be like, everybody was talking about all the, you know, how Jimmy Carter was such a decent man, but he sat on his thumbs while the Shah got overthrown.
He did a lot of nothing in his time. He's a piece of shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like, no, we should back the Shah. But we didn't.
The only time that we ever had him actually do anything good was when he took a loan from Lee Iacocca, and he let Lee Iacocca fix Chrysler.
Right.
I believe it was Chrysler. And within the year, Iacocca turned around Chrysler and he paid back everything plus interest. And he's like, I'm pretty certain that Reagan would not have given me that loan.
Right.
And he wouldn't have.
But
well, didn't GM to pull a loan from somebody? GM pulled a loan from the government.
GM has been bailed out so many fucking times.
Yeah, that's why it's called government motors. Hey, how you doing, Satya? I hope you're having a nice, balmy, warm day over there in Finland. And then we got Jose. Battle Mech Manual and Campaign Operation books arrived today. Well, look who's got a lot of reading to do. I don't have either of those.
I'm I'm a nice fan of BattleTech. I'll take the compendium from like 19. What was it? 86. I'll be
Mhm.
happy with that.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of people say that Battletech Mech Warrior second edition was pretty much pinnacle. You know, as far as for playing the game, and you know, it was a really good game, and it had all the different source books that were incredibly useful, like the Mercenaries Guide to the Inner Sphere, and the this and the that, and the. I mean, you know, it's a pretty good book. But I mean, Destiny, the problem with Destiny is it needs more support. They actually put the book out, but then they really haven't gone as hard on it as they could have with expansions and stuff. You know.
All right, the base price of a Toyota Hilux in 2025 was $26,475.
Mm.
But that
But
is I don't know if that is the U.S. price. Here's there you can get one with a.
I didn't even know you could get them in the U.S.
You can't get them in the U.S. You can get them in Mexico.
I wonder if you could buy one in Mexico and then just bring it over.
I think if it's over 25 years old, you can.
Oh, well, that wouldn't work then. I'm not willing to wait that long.
Well, if it's good, if it's in good shape.
Yeah, but I don't think I'll last 25 years to bring it over.
Oh, well.
Larry Correa. I don't believe so.
He does Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with that.
I just heard of the really bad movie and the video game.
Okay.
But I didn't know it was based on a set of novels or anything. Leth is super like stoked because I guess another Monster Hunter game's on the way.
Every time I turn around, it's on the new page for Steam.
I am kind of stoked for what's it called? Part 2.
No idea what you're talking about.
It's the medieval game set in Bohemia.
Kingdom Come?
Yep, Kingdom Come 2.
Okay. I saw the first one, never played it. Looked good. Friend of mine's like, it's on Epic. If you just turn on Epic, you can download it for free.
It is very difficult until you figure out how to play it. It's one of those games where you need to learn how to play that game. Okay. And on top of that, the creator of the game has been constantly accused of being prejudiced and a phobe and whatever, because he wouldn't put any sort of diversity in the game. And when they asked him about it, he said, this is, you know, like Dark Ages Central Europe. There would be no diversity, so I ain't doing it. Which just pissed everybody off. But he posted on X the other day the player count.
Mm-hmm.
There are more people currently playing Kingdom Come #1 concurrent than Dragon Age Velgard. And Dragon Age Velgard just released. Catch you later, Shark.
Take care, Shark.
They do make the Hilux in Mexico.
Freaking Mexicans get all the nice stuff.
Well, the problem is that we've got, you know what the biggest problem in this country is? It's health insurance for how they have the Obamacare is a change in health insurance and how it operates.
The 19th Amendment.
And number 2 is the California Air Resources Board. Semi-truck prices from 2000 to now have almost doubled because they've got to put all that goddamn emission and equipment and crap and they also got to make sure that they try to do all this. Oh, we got to make sure it goes from 5.5 miles per gallon to 7 miles per gallon on average for these semi trucks. You know what I mean? It's like you're moving the economy, you idiots. All it does is driving up prices across the board for everybody. It helps. It helps you everybody have more inflation. Every time they put a rule and regulation in, it costs the consumer money, period, and they don't get it.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of California's economy anymore. I don't want to profit from them. I don't want to give them money. I want them to fail on their own or succeed on their own. But I'm betting on failure.
See, I hear everything you guys say, and I still say the number one issue is the 19th Amendment.
Okay, enlighten me. I'm not gonna have the 19th on my brain yet.
That's suffrage.
Oh, women's suffrage.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm not against that if it would fix if getting rid of women voters would fix America. I want to get rid of the trans voters too.
Well,
Because
if they
I don't want them
identify
voting.
as female, then they should absolutely.
No, I don't. If you're mentally fucking ill, you don't need a fucking vote.
Hey, we could do the other thing I said.
I've been saying the wood chipper forever.
Not wood chipper, just get a king.
Get a king?
Yeah.
I don't care. You do your shit outside my house. You go for it. I don't care.
If you have a king, then you don't have to worry about spending money every 2 to 4 years to hire mediocre politicians. You'd be better off with a mediocre king for 50 years.
Well,
plus, once the rules were put into place, I mean, no one would be surprised by them. It'd be, this is the way it is, you know? And if you
like
need,
I said,
you need a parliament to make, like, you know, people feel better about themselves, you could do that.
Well, here's the biggest problem with all this is that Congress lets these departments make rules and regulations.
Yeah,
it's that's the biggest problem. Congress lets them do it. Then when it goes wrong, it takes Congress 10 years to go back around and try to straighten the shit back out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like these electronic log devices on these semi trucks. Biggest pain in the ass ever. I hated them. When I ran for a company locally here, he wanted me to run down to Des Moines and back, and I'm like, fine, I can do it in a 10-hour block, no problem. The problem is I get down to Des Moines and the trailer wouldn't be ready. And then they'd say, oh, you got to stay in a hotel room in Mason City, Iowa. I'm 120 miles from home. I've only worked 10 hours in a day. And you expect me to sit here and park a truck for 8 hours waiting for my logbook to catch back up with me electronically? No, screw you and the horse you rode in on. I just drove it in. And I got in so much trouble with that company, they finally fired my ass. Because I was like, I used to drive 800 miles in a day. Not a problem. I didn't need that damn logbook next to me. I never had a major accident. I never did anything. You know what I mean? So it was...
Oh, no. The heartaches of being a trucker.
Yeah. I feel you, brother. I get it, but I don't want to have an office job, so I guess trucking it is.
Yeah, well, everybody's got their thing. I mean, I wouldn't mind being in office as another dispatcher manager again. The problem is that company owners hire these people in HR and safety, and they always come in bugging you and going, "You really no, get out of my face. I know what I'm doing. I know who I'm gonna get, what I got to do, and I listen to the drivers more than I listen to HR and safety." I had one driver. I was working for a company in the as a fleet manager, right? Driver's wife has stage 4 cancer. He hadn't been home in 3 weeks. I found out from the driver. Nobody told me. I immediately, as soon as the guy emptied out in Chicago, I sent him home. I got a phone call that said that they were yelling and screaming at me. And when I finally told them what it was, guess what happened? They went, oh, and they shut the hell up, and they didn't want to talk to me again about it. They started letting me do some things on my own. You know what I mean? Because I actually got to know the drivers and talk to them and figure out what they were doing, you know. And it wasn't like the company could say anything. They were making double the revenue after I stepped into the role. They were making double the revenue of what they were doing because I was cross-training drivers to haul biofuels and regular unleaded and diesel fuel so that they could do transport both ways. You know what I'm saying? They go into the plant with biofuel and come out with diesel fuel mixed with bio, going back to a service station or something. And the drivers are making twice the amount of money. So it drove me insane. And finally I quit because they wouldn't listen to me. They had a senior dispatcher there that just, he turned to me and says, I don't like your attitude and I don't like what you're doing with my fuel, my loads. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm done. And he had the power to fire me. And I'm just like, I'm just going to get out of here before that. You know, I'm just like, forget it. Screw you. I'm gone.
So I rolled my ankle last week. And my plantar fasciitis came right back as I'm trying to figure out how things are going. So I took the rest of the week off. I got plantar fasciitis.
Okay.
So I'm getting the numbing down. I've been doing resting of the foot. I've been Epsom salt baths, cooling my foot, putting a poultice on it at night when I sleep. I can mostly walk okay. Like when I put my foot in a boot, it's going to be fine. I've not put my foot in a boot yet, and I've not walked down the 4 flights of stairs in my apartment. But for the past week, today being a week, I've been at home. And on Friday, my job called me and said, you put your 2 weeks notice in. We're just going to purchase you the rest of your days. And we're going to pay you for the days off that you've got from here to the end of your contract. And you're still on a rehire basis if you want. I'm like, okay, that's great. Thanks. And so I got to tell my new boss whenever Tuesday rolls around, I got to call him up and be like, okay, so here's what's been going on. Here's the game plan. And I'm going to work for you. I just don't want to be on my feet all day because I'm fighting plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
I don't want to have that.
I had a bad case of it, and somebody told me you just got to keep walking on it. You just got to pull it. You got to pull it apart, that muscle or whatever it is, because it's cramped up in there. And I haven't had it since. I mean, it must have been 8 months of me with that plantar fasciitis, and it was just
Well, guys, it's almost 3 hours. I'm going to take off.
You're going to go chase the wife around the house for a couple laps and then collapse back in that chair again. We know it.
Maybe.
James? Yeah, look at that grin on his face. Everybody, look at that grin.
Yeah, I don't like HR. What's up, Bruce?
I'm just going to say I'm a House Targaryen. Okay. I always root for the biggest asshole, and House Targaryen always came off as the biggest asshole. So I'll be more than happy to vote for them. I think.
Yeah, but they had the hot white-haired chick with her dragons. I mean, the biggest asshole, Bruce, was House Bolton, the flayed men. They were absolutely horrible.
I'm
like evil shit.
I don't know what I'm missing from the first 4 seasons. I watched the first 4 seasons.
I just watched lore videos.
Okay.
And like Ramsay Snow, the bastard son of Roose Snow or Roose Bolton, he's the one that like cut Theon Greyjoy's balls off and tortured him to the point that he become like not even himself anymore. And he used to feed peasants to his dogs. He called them his girls. He was just a purely evil human being. In the end, though, he got ate by his own dog. So, you know. So yeah, there you go. But
Is that in the books or is that just in TV series?
that's in the books.
Okay.
Targaryens, I mean, they're not evil, they're not good, they're just, you know, trying to take the crown.
Yeah.
You know.
They're definitely in it for the crown. And that's, I mean, they didn't hide any of their agenda.
Whereas the Greyjoy, which is my house, they're not in it for the crown. They're in it for the lulls.
And I can happily respect a foe like that.
Yep, they just want to burn as much shit down as possible and steal as much gold. They really don't care. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go in here and see what my wife is doing.
Don't chase her around too much, sir.
She has short legs. She's smart.
She's still 5 foot, under 5'4", and she'll kick your ass so fast, James.
Well, I definitely wouldn't want to make her too mad and then go asleep next to her.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But anyway, I'll chat with you guys later.
All right,
Take care.
I'll Lisa, friend.